What's up guys, Boogie back again. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, today I have a compilation of so many videos I'm going to be reacting to. As you can see, to start with, we're going to begin with Anton Daniels. I know some of you guys have been asking me to do more of Anton Daniels. You've been enjoying the videos I've been reacting to from his channel. So shout out to him. He has a panel of ladies and men. As you can see on this panel, he was the only male, but usually it's a panel of ladies and men. Live stream every week, and they discuss different social dating issues, right? So, and some people claim it doesn't help the community. I'm like, this here is helping the community, bringing a group of people who disagree to talk about issues, to see how mindsets from men and women differ, but also to bridge the gap. Because these conversations are important, because at least we don't have to stick in our echo chambers. Men speak on their own issues, women speak on their own issues, and we just keep complaining. Anton Daniels in real time is bringing people together to have disagreements and arguments and forging a way. For me, that's already helping the community. He's doing what most people don't even do. So that's one thing I really appreciate about him. Obviously, he also inspires me as a content creator. But as you guys know, I don't manage to finish all the videos. So I'll be putting all the links to all the videos I'll be reacting to other channels. So you guys can go over there, finish the video, subscribe to those people, follow those people, support them. All right. So the first video is going to be about, women scream independent, don't need no man, in one sentence, and then this next one they're saying men are not helping them, men are not protecting them, meaning men are not being gentlemen. So which one is it? So this was a good discussion. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Nothing will make me lose respect for a man faster than to be in the presence of a man and he see me struggling as a woman, or see any woman struggling, and he won't even take his hands out of his pockets or lift his hands to help a lady. I was just now in a setting struggling to lift an office chair that was really heavy, to get it from one place to the next place, and I had to lift it and carry it a short distance. Two men stood by in executive positions and watched me struggle to lift that chair, and watched me struggle to carry that chair to where it needed to be, to return it to less than, it was a very short distance back to its proper place. If men will stand by and watch you struggle, even in lifting a chair, they will stand back and watch you struggle in other areas of your life. When it comes to women, children, and senior citizens, I have a soft place in my heart for those three populations, because they are the weakest populations on the face of the earth.
Wow. My question is, did she ask for help?
I think she missed the fact that a man will watch something, a woman struggling, and will not offer. Isn't that like a part of chivalry or something? It's like she's speaking to men aren't willing to offer their strength or offer their services, because we know men like to feel, feel like the hero, and they want to feel needed. But if you see a woman struggling with her groceries or with a box or furniture, whether you're an old woman, a young woman, a teenage girl, you want a man to be like, well, let me help you with that, young lady, or let me help you with that, beautiful, like.
But
that.
You gotta understand it from the men's point of view, because if you think about it, the way things are going today, let's say she needed help with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boom, he helps her, and they were in executive positions. How do they know that she won't go and say, oh, he touched me and did this when he was lifting it up, or brushed against me, call the police, be on TikTok? It happens a lot.
You can't say.
No, it happens all the time. The Me Too era, that's why men just stopped approaching women at all. Because it's like the first thing women do is pull their phone out, start recording you so that you go viral on TikTok, so that they get attention. Oh, look at this man, he's approaching me. Oh my God, leave me alone. I don't want you. Oh my God. So men see that, see other men being embarrassed online. And then they're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Men are giving up. So in one sentence, you guys say men shouldn't approach us. We don't need men. And then you're like, oh, protect me, help me carry my groceries. It's like, no, you can't even have it both ways. So that lady is definitely right.
No, it's like a form of protection.
You can't say are protecting themselves against possible accusations if they're gonna help. If that's the case, if you can't even trust a woman to help her, damn relationships, men ain't even going to ask women out on dates and vice versa. So if you can't even.
And men give up on asking for dates. They gave up. Some guys are going overseas, Colombia, Brazil, Africa. Some guys just gave up. You know, because if I can't even approach you to ask you for your number, you're going to scream, oh my God, he's trying to assault me. Oh my God, leave me alone. I don't need you. I'm independent. I make my own money. So men are like, I'm giving up, you know?
They not offer to help you to do something.
They have the right to be scared, though.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute. Men cannot be scared at the same level as women. We can't have more beta males and alpha males in our society. We just can't. You can't say, well, I'm afraid. Well, what are you going to do if a burglar was supposed to pop out and get you? You going to run? Like,
But
you
this
know,
is-
I have to say,
but this-
there's something
but
else
this
going
is-
on here. You guys are missing it.
But this is the kind of culture that was created and has been cultivated
Yes.
over decades.
Facts.
When we had the two-parent
Feminism.
household, it was cool until it wasn't. And then feminism came in and then all kind of other stuff. So with the feminism, chivalry died. So
They killed
why
it.
But men are supposed to
right?
help
But
women.
the thing
Like,
is,
No, with Mike, let her finish. With Mike.
but why sit there and want the traditional version of men, but then we're not traditional versions of women?
They just want their egg cake to be able to eat it too. It's like they want to be independent, be more than women, no responsibility, but they expect the man to come take care of them, pay their bills, take them out on dates for nothing, just because they're women. But the man gets nothing in return.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, are we going to be independent, or are we going to be, we need help, we
Right.
want chivalry back?
Exactly.
Which one is it? You got to pick your battle, because
Exactly.
those two things can't be true at the same time. I'm sorry. You got to pick a side. How
That's
do
me. We have in our
for me, it's like men are supposed to help women. Doesn't matter what the like. It's like a biological. It's innate. It's innate nature for men to want to protect women.
But they're not supposed to. Unless that man has,
So it's like
unless that man has married you, he has no entitlement.
Right.
To,
no.
Facts. And they always keep talking about how men are supposed to do this, men are supposed to do this. But you know one thing they never talk about is women are supposed to do this, women are supposed to do that. The only thing they say, men are supposed to do this and women can do what they want. Let me repeat. They always say, a real man does ABC, a real man pays bills, a real man takes me out, a real man protects me. They never talk about what a real woman does. They only say, I'm independent, I can do what I want.
that's
It's
exactly
not about doing
None.
it
man,
to put
you're
yourself
not
in
entitled
danger.
to anything a man,
Well, let me finish what I was
friends,
saying.
his money, his
So
money.
I'm not saying that the man should go and put his life in danger, but like the woman said, she needed help just carrying some things up the stairs or something like that. It wasn't like she was asking him to pull out a gun or like
Then
to
she
do
should have
something
opened her big
really
mouth.
drastic. It was more of like helping her to do something,
Is it-
like
Did
punish
you
her
hear about
like
that man
So
who
it's-
defended that
Wait.
woman?
No, that's what I'm saying. The video that we watched, if we're gonna talk about the video, let's talk about the video, or are we talking about like in general of men helping women? Based on the
Just
video,
period. I think it's all about.
okay, but it was a video reaction. Based on the video, what the woman was expecting was just with help carrying something.
Yeah, but if she didn't ask the men around her and she just assumes that the men are supposed to help, yet at the same time, she would be the same woman to say, I'm independent and strong, I don't need no man, I can do what a man can do. You can't have it both ways. Men are scared. Men are terribly, terribly scared of women right now. Whether it's going, putting you on social media, on TikTok to embarrass you, whether it's rejecting you harshly, oh, leave me alone, you're below me, you dusty, you're broke, you're sassy. It's like there's so many things men are scared of and they're just giving up. Whether it's helping a woman, whether it's protecting, whether it's taking them on dates, asking them out, men are just giving up.
So for me, whether man or woman, if you see someone older than you, or you see that someone is struggling, you should, as a human being, forget man, forget woman, as a human being, you should want to help. I just feel like it's basic human decency to want to help someone lift something. I'm going based off on the video. Obviously there are different when it comes to situations where you have to choose to put your life in danger for somebody else. That's a whole different situation. But
How many older men have you helped? You know, they keep talking about, oh, you should help somebody who's old, but they only say that when they're expecting the man to help older women. But if you ask this woman, how many older men, grandpas, has she helped when she's going to Walmart, going to the grocery store? She has no answer.
Because I'm going based on the video that we watched, what the woman was asking for, I don't feel like it's anything that was too drastic. I mean, even a woman could have helped, lent her a hand to carry to carry whatever it is that she wanted.
But how many times do women actually do that? Let's not talk about what she could have done or what people should do. Give us examples of women actually helping older men or women helping men that they don't know, strangers, random men they don't know.
So that's what I'm going based off of. If we're going to talk about like where the man has to put his life in danger for a woman he doesn't know, that's a whole separate conversation. And that's, for me, I feel like I would have different answers for that. But I think this situation was just so small that I don't think it's a thing where we should like have any, I don't know. I don't think, I mean, you should want to just help somebody.
Can I ask you a
The
question?
thing about it is the expectations. The expectations are crazy. We're expecting people that we don't know or have any kind of connection with or know what they got going on to just willingly come out and help. But yet people from a different country can say they don't want a tip. Like, people have so many different expectations. It's crazy. Like, if the men don't want to come and help and the woman didn't feel like she needed to ask, then that's on her. If she knew she needed help, she knew that she was carrying up that heavy ass chair, why didn't you say something? It's like people want people to just go out of their way for no reason, but yet they're not going out of their way. They're not going to go out of their way for men. They're not going to go out of their way. They're not going, women are not going out of their way for men the way that women want men to go out of their way for them. Women are not out here doing female things or feminine things for the men to make them feel however they need to feel as a man. So why is it that we're having all these expectations for them?
Facts. She's cooking. Man, I love women like this. Like, she's the beautiful woman, but the way she speaks. Because let's be fair. Women who speak positively or in defense of men are very rare. So Kamaya is already a good-looking black queen. So by her speaking like this, it just even makes her more. She just makes me want to fall in love with her. But back to the point, like exactly what she said. Women always expect men to do A, B, C, D, but they never mention what they're gonna do for a man, and she's absolutely right. So until women can be like, hey, I expect a man to do A, B, C, D for me, but here I'm also gonna do A, B, C, D for him, then only then shall we have a conversation about what men should do for women.
Doesn't
That's
make any
because
sense.
men and women are not different. Women don't come to a man's rescue. And we're not even talking about, I don't know what level you're talking about, but if we're talking
I'm just talking about from being like a pillar of rest. From what women are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be submissive. We're supposed to be pleasant. Like Anton said, you rebranded yourself. You look pleasant. You look more receiving. You look ready to
Yes.
receive what somebody else has to say instead of just pouncing. It took something in you to change it in your mind to where it's like, oh, let me fix myself. Let me be softer.
Yes.
Women nowadays are not like that, Dalen, and you know this. So men need softness. Men need women to be women, but it's not that. So if women want men to be men, then women need to be women to men.
Facts. Because guys, look at this, right? Let's say a man is walking on the street and then he meets two types of women. One, he says, hi, how you doing? And then she responds, hey, I'm good, how you doing? Nice, with a smile, right? And then the next woman, he's like, hey, how you doing? And she gives him attitude, hey, don't talk to me. If those two women get in trouble, guess which woman is probably gonna help faster or fast? It's gonna be the woman who is smiling at him. But these days, they can't even smile at you. They just give you the look of, don't talk to me, you're broke and dusty. It's like, come on, man.
But that does not defend her saying, well, it's a shame. I don't think she was complaining, but more so making an observation that
She was
what we're
complaining.
used to is that if you're carrying something, if you need visible help with something, if a man sees it, he wants to help. Whether he sees you with groceries or sees you moving furniture, or even if he comes to your house and he sees that you have a leaky faucet, he wants to offer his assistance. I think she's saying that we see so many men not being able to offer that in a sense where you can say, well, they don't want to be taken advantage of by a woman who may treat them like crap anyway. And it's like, you don't get to say to yourself, well, I don't want to help this elderly woman. I don't want to help this young woman. I don't want to help this little girl because what if they're mean to me? You can't worry about that. That's stupid. So I think
It's easy for you as a woman to say men shouldn't worry about it. It's stupid because you never have to be in that position. You have never helped no man. You have never helped no man who's a stranger. And you have never tried to approach a man to ask for his number. So it's easy for you to think men are stupid for being scared of Me Too's, for being scared of falsely accused, for being scared of being put on TikTok to go viral and to be embarrassed. It's easy for you as a woman to say it's stupid for men to be scared. It's easy because you never have to approach a man. But until you can help a man who's a stranger and doing more than 10 times, until you can approach more than 10 men, asking them for their numbers and asking them to go on dates, until then you cannot tell men they're scared. Because you will never have to be in a position where you have to be scared either by, for being falsely accused.
that saying like, oh, well, you wouldn't do this for me. How do you know? Someone needed help and you decided not to help them. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, women are misbehaving these days. And then on top of that, why are we saying conflating a woman that's unlikable or a woman that doesn't deserve someone to help them should be put in the same category of a woman who's clearly minding her business and is noticing she needs help and a man didn't offer? Sure, she could have asked, but she's pointing out that, damn, usually a man would offer before you even have to open your mouth.
Yeah, that was then, like 20 years ago, where a man could just randomly help women they don't know, strangers, to carry groceries, to carry bags, just assume that all women are good women. Back then when TikTok wasn't a thing, that women would just pull out their phones to record men and make them go viral and scream, oh, help, he's trying to hurt me, even if the guy is just saying, hey, I would like to take you out. You are speaking about 20 years ago, ma'am. You are speaking about 20 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago. But right now, 2025, any man who just approaches a strange woman, a woman he doesn't know in public, you a fool. Because the chances of her saying, hey, I like you too, I'll give you my number with a smile, are slim to none. And Slim died yesterday. It's more likely she's going to pull out her phone, scream that you're trying to do something, put you on TikTok, or even just say, leave me alone, broke Dusty. Even if you're trying to help. We have seen so many of these things on social media. So this woman is trying to speak like as if feminism it doesn't exist, as if men don't go through these things every single day.
Well, Darren, I think you're missing the point.
Yeah,
I think you're missing the point of why I think Anton wanted to cover this. And I have to also say that I think that the men are onto something when they say that, at least online, what I see is women have, and congratulations, more freedoms and ability to move about the world like they have never before been able to in history. Right? Women are evolving. They have more privileges. They have more education. They have more financial freedom. They are evolving. The problem is that they want certain things. They want certain behaviors. The men didn't suddenly have some awakening, right? So the men have been kind of here the whole time. And what I think the men are saying is that women who have this stance of, I'm, educated, I'm my own boss and everything else, but I want to pick a la carte the things that I like about patriarchy that I benefit from. And I want those things to say because it benefits me. So it's like, okay, I don't like the whole, stay at home, this and that and the other, but I want to work, but I also want you to give me your money. And so my money is my money and your money is my money too.
Exactly. They just want to be independent, keep their money. And it's always funny to me because they say they're independent. They make all this much money. They don't need no broke man. They want a man on their level. But in the same breath, after saying they have all this much money, they still expect the man to come and pay their bills. And they get to save their money. So I always ask myself, which man is willing to take that deal? Because it's not like when you start paying her bills, she's going to stop working. No, she's going to keep working, save her money. But as you work, you're working for her because now you're paying her bills. Before you came into her life, she was paying her bills. But now that you're into her life, you're paying her bills and your bills, and she's saving her money. So when the relationship ends, which 90% chance she's going to break up with you after some time because she's not happy. We all know what that means. And then you have not been saving any money because you've been paying her bills, but she has been saving her money. And it's true what they say that men save money when they are not in relationships, and women save money when they are in relationships.
I'm gonna put you on TikTok because you opened the door for me. You're gonna give somebody a hard time. Like literally, I had to get after my own daughter because I have one son, and my son knows that if I approach a door, I pause and wait. He is opening the door. And there was my little girls were like, oh, why are you pausing? I said, because that is what a gentleman does. That's what he does. And they were like, well, he doesn't have to open every. I said, that's not the point. I had to tell them because the indoctrination of these women is real. It's like, it would be different if we wanted to be completely autonomous, right? And say, we're going to just live out. But no, we still have these expectations of men that are very traditional. We want them to be providers. We want to be protectors. We want them to have all of these things that we really, really like about the patriarchy, just not that other stuff that we don't like.
Facts.
And so if just think about if it was in your situation, you wouldn't think it was fair. So I'm just saying.
They can't think in their situation because that makes them take accountability. So I understand you have given good intentions to make them understand or be fair to men, but women like Darlene, she can't put herself in a man's situation because it doesn't benefit her. Because she gets to help the man, she gets to pay the man's bills as the man isn't paying bills. She gets to, to help strange men. She gets to approach strange men that she doesn't know. It puts her in a bad situation. It puts her in a situation where she has to hold herself accountable. So she cannot ever put herself in the situation or even try to understand.
A lot of men are just saying, well, you like it, I love it. Mm-hmm. You like it, I love it. Like,
do we see how dangerous that can be if we continuously allow men to just say, I don't want to do simple things because I'm fearful?
Yeah, because they are fearful of real issues. I don't know why she can't understand this for the love of me. Have you ever been falsely accused of doing something and then you get to lose your whole life, go to prison, lose your job? Have you ever been in the situation of being accused of something that you didn't do and people just don't even believe you? Have you ever been in a situation where you have been rejected publicly and called you a predator? Have you ever been in a situation where someone pulls out their phone and records you and puts you on social media because you simply try to talk to them? Have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever been in a situation where you had to take out people on multiple dates, pay for their dinners, and then they send you a message saying, hey, it was nice to meet you, but you didn't take me to a 5-star hotel, so you're not a good man? Have you been in a situation where you try to tell someone, hey, let's go have a coffee, and they call you broke because you suggested you take them to a coffee instead of a dinner date? Have you been in those situations? The answer is no. So for you to say men are just scared or they shouldn't be scared, it's funny how you speak from a position of privilege.
I don't think
what do you mean?
I think the women who are out here saying that men are irrelevant, that they're not needed, that they're also violent, all of the things. Like, listen, I have listened to women online. I'm not saying it's you, Daylin. I don't know. I'm saying that I have listened to women say the most horrible thing. Imagine if every time you open your phone or open your laptop, there's something bad being said about you. You would feel a certain way. You wouldn't feel endearing.
But I don't make a cop out, because I can say the same thing. Like men, like now, I get talked about. Dalen has a big mouth, this, that, and the third. That does not mean when a brother says, or any man says, "Good morning, young lady, you look beautiful today," and I say, "Well, you looking not too shabby yourself, young man." Like, I'm not gonna say to myself, "I ain't saying shit to that." Then I'm not.
Yeah, but they're still approaching you. In the scenario you gave, men are still approaching you. You need to give us scenarios where you're helping strange men, approaching strange men, taking out strange men on dates and paying for them and being ghosted. We need those situations. Until then, you will never understand what men have to go through.
Going to, or even if I see, something that I could do for a guy, I'm not going to tell myself, well, shoot, he could be dangerous or he could be this, because then I will be consumed by fear. I will be consumed by social media talk. I don't think that it's healthy for us to have this mindset, because
I don't think it's healthy either, but you can't expect these men to be psychic. Like, they can't look at you and say, Dalen is going to be the type of person who's going to appreciate if I lift a chair and open the door for her. And then, some other woman is going to put me on TikTok because how dare I open the door for her or think that I can't do something. Like, literally, it's like, these are the conversations women need to be having with themselves about why we continue to communicate these messages, even if it's not us who's doing it. Like, these women are going viral saying the most vile things, but then you guys want to turn around and have and then I'm seeing videos of women saying, well, where are the men? It's like, bruh, you sitting up here, the mixers, they're not coming to the mixers. Why aren't they coming to the mixers? Because you guys are filming them while you guys are on dates. You guys are humiliating them. You guys are doing all of these things. Like, why would anybody want to deal with that? So
Facts, man. She's cooking. Shout out to Pink Peel. And I probably disagree with what she has to say most of the times, because sometimes she's a feminist, sometimes she's not. They pick and choose. But for now, Pink Pill, thank you, Mama, you're speeding. And it's true. Like, which man is going to choose the kind of situation to put himself in? It's a lose-lose situation, because even when you think you're doing good, she's going to say, oh, you're not good enough. If you take her on a date that's only $50, or they're going to call you cheap because it was not $200. If you ask her to go on a coffee date because you don't know her very well, you don't want to be used for free dinner, they're still going to call you broke and cheap. If you don't approach, it's going to be like Delene saying, oh, men are beta males, they are weak, why are they scared of approaching? If you don't help them and you don't want to go on TikTok, oh, why are you scared? It's like men can't win. It's a lose-lose situation. So most guys are giving up. They're like, you know what? Instead of dealing with this, I'll just go to Colombia, to Brazil, to Africa, or not even date at all. But what do you guys think? This was a good conversation. Shout out to Anton Daniels. Link down below. Next, again, we got Anton Daniels. This was a while back, but we had a lady who was cooking, Cameron, talking about single mothers. So without further ado, let's go.
And I can agree with that. I can agree with that. My only other thing to what you're saying is that that I disagree with would be that this idea that unprotected sex between two people equals wanting a child, or that if a child does come into fruition, that means automatically he needs to take responsibility. When two people, and that's why people shouldn't be having unprotected sex anyways. Like, that's the issue, because when a child comes into play, what if he doesn't want the kid? Like, again, just because somebody says they want to have unprotected sex with you does not mean they want to have a baby with you. So even if, because again, when I hear women talk about being pregnant, becoming single moms, it's not because they're not honest in saying they had unprotected sex. When you ask a woman why, what does she say? Because the condom broke. Everybody's condom broke. So I'm saying they're not even saying they had unprotected sex. Nobody's being honest with that. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to do that, that's not what that means. Having unprotected sex as two consenting adults does not mean if you get pregnant, yes, I want a baby. That's not what that means. Having a child together means I want to have a child with you. If a man does not marry you, he's telling you he does not want to have a child with you. And anything that happens prior to that point, I would not continue with, and I would never advise somebody to continue with, because being a single mother is hard. No one has ever said it's easy. So I never understand that sentiment. No one ever said it was easy. It is extremely hard. It is extremely hard on the mother. It is extremely hard on the child. This is a horrible dynamic to bring a child into, consciously making that decision. Now, again, obviously, like you said, things happen after the child comes into fruition. I can't speak on that because I've never experienced that, and I wouldn't know about that. But all I'm saying is there are men of good character, and those men are who marry you, get you pregnant, and they build that family with you. That's all I'm saying. There are specific types of men in this world, and all I'm saying is, as a woman, we choose who we give access to our bodies to. You choose who you have. You said it yourself. You
She's
tell him to
cooking.
have protection, or you're not having sex with him, right?
She's cooking, but the issue is what she's doing. Even if she's cooking, she's trying to hold single moms accountable. But we all know how this goes. They're probably going to call it pick me because they don't want to be held accountable. You know, and obviously because she's putting responsibility on them. Hey, listen, being a single mom isn't just the man's fault. It's your fault as a woman. You should have made sure you use protection, ABCD. You should have made sure you were married before. And then she mentioned that women should choose good guys who marry them. But usually when the guy doesn't make the good money, even if he's a good guy, he's not good enough for them. So they will choose an athlete, a rapper who makes quick money, good money, right? But he doesn't want marriage over a guy who makes average money, but he wants marriage. So they will have a baby with a rapper, with an athlete, with an NBA player, football player quickly before marriage, and then become single moms, but because they know they're going to collect 18 years of child support rather than marriage with a good guy who they should supposed to build together. It's the life we live in.
I'm not laying down with him if I don't want to have sex with him. I'm not laying down with him unprotected if I don't want to have sex with him unprotected. So there's a lot of I in this prior to the man taking on his responsibility like he should, because I do believe that he should take care of his responsibilities. But again, we can't put responsibility on a man that's irresponsible. That's the whole issue. These men
we're really saying the same thing, baby. We're really kind of saying the same thing. I'm not arguing with you with that. But what I don't like is all the blame being put on the woman, all the blame being put on the single mom, and we're not discussing that two parties went into a situation irresponsibly. That's all I'm saying.
I can agree to that.
You know what I mean? That's it. We gotta have balance because
Absolutely. All I'm saying, and I can agree to that. I definitely think we should blame both parties. But then the issue comes into fact when then the women get upset because we tell them that, okay, fine. Say we blame the fathers. We're bashing the single dad. The absent fathers. We're bashing, we bashing. What does that do from that point forward? That she still has to raise the child alone. So all I'm saying is from that point of us bashing the men that aren't here, we bash them. That's not going to make them come take care of kids that they don't want to come take care of. You can't get money out of a broke ass nigga that don't have money. So putting him on child support does nothing. If he goes to jail, still does nothing. You can't get the money. So all I'm saying is, what does that do? What we need to be doing is telling these women, and also to stop perpetrating this idea that the child is going to be A-okay no matter what, no matter how hard she does her job. They are living in detriment. And this idea that she can just do it no matter what is not true. But that's
oh my gosh. I mean, what am I supposed to add to that? Because she's cooking. But as you can see, Randy is about to go in because she doesn't like it. She doesn't like when another woman holds them accountable. They would rather hear men being held accountable. But the moment the guns are switched and like, okay, we are done holding the men accountable, it's over to you single moms. You should have chosen better. You should, chosen marriage before carrying. You should have chosen a good man. You should have listened. You shouldn't have going to the bad boys. They're like, no, it's the man's fault. No, it's the man's fault. But it's like, okay, let's say you chose a bad guy. So now what? Are you going to choose the second guy to be a bad guy, just like your first baby daddy? Or are you going to choose better? Because at the end of the day, if you want, difference for the future, you have to make better decisions, but you have to hold yourself accountable. Let's see what Randy is going to say.
So if we can be honest, Cam, that was my issue with the conversation in the beginning. The conversation was leaning so much toward a conversation of the single Black mothers versus the fact that it needs to be a two-parent household. What we're all saying is the same. Now at this point, it's the same thing, that we all need to have higher standards when it comes to dating. We need to all impose those standards. I've said this numerous times, that if all of the women just get together and say, hey, we not fucking none of these broke niggas no more. We not giving them no more time and energy.
And that's the issue. The only thing they think that makes a good man is the money. See what she said? We are not messing up. We're not messing with broke niggas no more. What they call a broke nigga is the one who's not going to take them to Cancun. One is not going to take them to an expensive dinner date. One who's not going to pay all their bills. That's when they consider a broke nigga. So what they do is they choose the athletes, which I talked about before, the drug dealers, the NBA players, you know, they choose those guys who have money as the good guys. And those are the same guys that make them single moms, the futures of this world. And then they leave the good guy, 80K a year, doing a nice job as a teacher or whatever. Those guys are not good guys because they're considered broke guys. So for me, it's the same cycle. Until they can look at average men doing average jobs, getting average money, and consider them as good men, because those guys more likely want marriage than the athletes who have all the money. Until then, it's going to be the same cycle of single moms.
We're gonna make them get themselves together. We're gonna get ourselves together, and then we all got together and dated. It would make sense. But unfortunately, the beginning of this conversation didn't read that way at all.
Not fucking broke niggas ain't gonna do this.
Hold on one second. I want
y'all
to get.
been trying to do. Y'all been trying to fuck the rich niggas. And y'all see how that's been going.
Hold on one second. One second. We gonna open it up for everybody. I just want to make sure that Quentin get his shit off because he's been patiently waiting on.
I was trying to take shit out on the broke niggas.
She touched on it.
All right, well, go ahead. Y'all can say whatever y'all. I'm sure Trigger want to jump right on in. Go ahead, Trigger.
Head first. Pause.
Okay, so I just want to address a few things, and I try to be as fast as possible. Okay, so yes, parenting is difficult no matter what. The blame does need to be more shared. It's not about even bashing the father, right? It's about putting blame where blame is due. And the fact that 95% of social media blame goes to single mothers is sad, instead of holding these men accountable. The fact that you say that you can't put responsibility on somebody or the man who's not responsible, you wouldn't put that way if all these mothers was like, I'm not raising this child either, I'm finna drop this child off. Those mothers are looked at as like, oh, they're monsters. But that's literally what most of these men do, and they get a pass for it at the end of the day. And that's why we need to call the men out more for doing the same thing, instead of always pointing the finger at the single mother. It's because the man just feels like, oh well, everybody, if I don't feel like having a child, that's fine. And society really don't raise an eyebrow to that as much as they do as the person, like somebody else has said, who decided to stay, which is usually the mother. And of course, it doesn't mean that most or like majority or all of these mothers are like amazing. Of course, there are toxic people. There are toxic people in two-parent households. And that's what I want to say too. Like you talk about, these men who are abusing women are the ones who were raised by single women. That's far from true, because most abusers are abusers because they saw their father, their mother. But I'm just gonna say that, like, it could be a two-parent household that is just as toxic than a one-parent household. And without any substantial statistics, which I don't even think exist, you cannot just say that most single women are failing at raising children, because that's just totally untrue. That's totally untrue. But what I was gonna say about not taking accountability and wanting to point the finger, I was actually talking to Mika, and we were talking about how men feel like they're being taken advantage of, and this is why certain people are advising them not to pay for dates and all this because they're being taken advantage of. I feel like people like Anton and Mika, with all due respect, are people who are married young, and then they are looking at the victims of these men like, oh, I'm losing my money. Oh, I can't afford these women.
So is it an issue for men to be scared of losing money on debts and being taken advantage of now? It's an issue because men are waking up and saying, hey, listen, I used to pay $100 on every dinner date and I got ghosted. Now I'm only going to do coffee dates. That's an issue. Like, so men are just supposed to be continuing to do the same thing and expecting, different results.
Talking about that.
That is not relevant.
And that's where they're like trying to champion.
Go Mike.
That's not relevant to this conversation. We can
Exactly.
only visit that. Quentin, what did you have to say, bro?
I think the whole narrative to this whole conversation tonight is just that dudes are leaving. Like, there's no stats about boyfriends leaving single mothers, but there are stats about women being single mothers getting divorced. So what is it?
Facts. Most of the time, the women file for divorce or leave relationships. 80%, 70% of the time. You can ask a woman, how many boyfriends have you had and how many have broken up with you? She will tell you. If you don't believe the statistics, find a random woman or a female friend. Ask her how many relationships she has been in. Ask her how many of those guys left her and how many of those guys she left. She will tell you exactly. Most of the time, they leave the guy.
This whole thing that men are just leaving. What about these women that don't want these men or choose other shit?
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
No, I'm just saying the whole narrative is just like dudes are leaving and women ain't leaving. Like, women choose to be single moms every day. They're like, fuck you, nigga, I'm out. Like, women will say all day long, like, they'd rather have a baby than get married all day long.
Facts.
I've never heard a woman say that, and that sounds very unfortunate.
It happens.
What you mean? Which? Are you saying women don't choose to be single moms? They don't say, I'd rather have a baby than be married because they feel marriage is slavery, but a baby, they feel like they are free to do what they want? Women every day say marriage is slavery. So for you to say they're not choosing to be single moms over marriage is crazy. They literally say marriage is slavery and they would rather be single moms than be in slavery, which is called marriage.
Happens all the time. I want to have a baby, but I don't want to marry him. They say it all the time.
Because babies are made through having sex. People have sex and don't even know each other. But I personally have never heard someone say, I would rather have a baby than get married.
You're
that
lying.
to me is insane.
Okay, being a single mom is a choice, though. They just
for the most part, they choose it.
So your remedy
like,
is
what Kim said that I was gonna say. You just talked for like 10 minutes and didn't say shit. What she said is, like responsible men have babies within a marriage. Come again?
Why is y'all so mean to her?
Because you just talked for an hour and then I tried to say something, but you start talking again.
No, it's not that we mean. Is that trigger has to be reined in sometimes because she'll go into a completely different part of the conversation and that we're not there yet. So she wanted to talk about something different, but we want to make sure that Quentin get his thoughts off because Quentin was patient. So go ahead, get your thoughts off, bro.
And then we gotta go super chat.
That's it. Just responsible men have sex in marriage.
Now hold on. Let me just get my thoughts.
Randy.
I'm gonna just, and then we can go to the super chats. This is what y'all wanted. Y'all advocated for this. Y'all advocated for equal. And when you advocate for equal, you also advocate for equal responsibility and accountability.
Facts.
And so, if this was a time where you had no choices, meaning that you didn't have a choice on who you can vote for, you didn't have a choice of where you can work, you don't have a choice of who it is that you can marry. If this was 100 years ago, if this was even 50 years ago, then this would be a completely different conversation and you could put 100% of the responsibility on men. But we in a different time where women are choosing. And if y'all telling me that women are being held accountable to the same rate of men, even though we advocated for equal, I would absolutely say that this is a disingenuous conversation.
Facts, because did you guys know that if a man doesn't pay child support, he can be thrown in jail? And being thrown in jail doesn't mean that once he's out, he won't have to pay. No, he still is required to pay. But now he's going to jail. He's probably going to lose his job if he goes to jail. He's going to lose his license. But then on top of that, now if he has no job because he has a record, how is he going to earn money to pay his child support? But now tell me how many women, because some women pay child support too, but not all of them pay child support. So tell me how many women are in jail or have ever been sent to jail for not paying child support. I'll wait. Exactly. So anyway, shout out to Anton Daniels, link down below. So up next, we have shout out to MOA podcast. They were talking about why men don't want to be married anymore. They don't want to marry anymore. And the ladies were giving their thoughts. Let's go.
Women end up doing a lot for the wrong person, and it will ruin them when they find a good guy like this.
That is true. Shout out to anybody out there. I am not paying for the sins of your ex. Just ready.
Yeah.
You can put that on somebody else's credit card. I'm not paying for that.
I'm saying is, I have to marry you, make you my wife, in order for you to start doing wife things.
I mean, I'm just a girlfriend.
Okay. Okay. Shrika, do you want to marry me?
Yes,
Why?
because you a provider, a protector. You watch out for me. I love you. Why would I not want to marry you?
I appreciate it, and I love you too. So what you're saying to me is, those are the things you want your husband to do.
Yes.
So you see your husband in me. Okay. So the things I'm doing right now, even though I'm not your husband, you want your husband to do. And the crazy thing is, that's who I am. Not because it's what I feel like I have to do. I do it because that's who Jeremy is. I'm already a husband. I'm just not your husband yet.
What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I was like, why does she expect him to already be who she wants her husband to be, but she can't be the wife that he needs to be? And my thing is like, if I love you and I see that we're meant to be together, I'll cook for you. I'll pick up for you. I'll even buy you like little treats that you like if you like protein bars, like the chocolate flavor. I'll do little things to show you my love because I want you to be my husband.
Will you dispose of the needles also afterwards when you stick them in there?
I will. Yeah. You want me to inject it in your butt? I'll do it for you. What do you need me to do?
That's my dream.
I want you to see that I'm yours. And it doesn't even come as like I'm trying. It's because I genuinely feel like that's who I am. I can be the wifey that you need me to be. But
I mean, she's, they make good points. She's making good points. But the question is, how many women are willing to do that? Most women are like, what are you going to do for me? Do for me, do for me, do for me, do for me. I'm the prize. I'm the table. What are you going to do for me? They never think about, okay, what does this man want? What can I do for him? So even the scenario she's painting the scenario that this guy is already doing things for her. Let me repeat that. She's painting the scenario that this guy is already doing something for her. Because remember, off the gate, men are supposed to do something from the beginning. To plan the date is doing something. To take her on a date is doing something. To ask her on a date is doing something. To pay for the date is doing something. To call her, to text her. Gifts, all those things are doing something for her. And all she's doing is showing up. So the scenario where she's painting, oh, I'll do this and that for my man, it's after my man. Not in the beginning, but after he has been doing all these other things for her.
If you're not the husband that I need you to be, where you're working hard, you have jobs, you're making money, you're providing for me, then what's the point of this?
See what I mean? You have to be doing things for her, which usually involves you spending my money. So in other words, before she's nice to you, before she buys you any treats, before she acts like a nice girlfriend, she's expecting you to have done something, which usually means spending money. So men are looking at it, they're like, is this really a good deal? So I have to prove myself for you to be nice to me? So you're not nice to me because you actually like me. You're nice to me because I've done something for you. And then I'm nice to you because I actually like you. You see the difference? So men are like, oh no, I ain't doing this.
Also, I need to work out because I want to be your trophy wife. Like, I want to look good. We both need to look good.
I want people to hate me when we show up at the restaurant.
Exactly.
Right. Lex, you want to say something about this?
Social media lately, especially, I think it's we have like a new wave of kind of like the Andrew women, like very toxic women that are just like, well, look at me, I'm here. So
you mean women Andrew is describing?
Like kind of like that mindset, but flipped. Like, for women.
Oh, like the contrapositive of
like I'm here to do everything for me, and I don't have to do anything for you because I'm a woman. And I see both sides of it because honestly, it's just a movement where women are starting to give back to the men what they've been giving to us for so long. And the problem is that women end up doing a lot for the wrong person, and it will.
What do you mean doing a lot for the wrong person? What is that? What is that doing a lot? What does that mean? What do they do exactly? I hope she explains.
Ruin them when they find a good guy like this.
That is true. Yeah. Shout out to anybody out there. I am not paying for the sins of your ex. Just ready. You can put that on somebody else's credit card. I'm not paying for that. I've had to deal with that twice. I'm not dealing with that again. I totally agree with you. Yes. On that, like the whole idea is I dated someone toxic. Your relationship was toxic. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But one thing I do know is I'm not paying for his mistakes. You are going like I need, because I'm not doing the same thing. Well, I know some guys are really insecure. Maybe they're doing the same thing. We're all, sort of the victims of our trauma. But like at some point, man, you got to move on, or else there's just no hope.
I like you. You're cool. You're healed.
But it has to be a give and take.
Oh.
You just can't be given too much as a woman, like right up front, because then the guy does not appreciate you.
See what I mean? What do you mean giving too much? What is that? Because when a man says I'm giving too much, we can actually write down exactly what that means, what he's doing, especially she's talking about from the beginning. What is that doing too much, giving too much mean? What is that they give to a man? Nothing. Usually just showing up is what they consider giving too much.
For men, though,
you take me out and I post your arm.
Yeah.
50-50.
So with what he said right there is a problem. While I do understand the dynamic, Rolo will tell you this too. He's trying to explain the red to his girl. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that doesn't work. While the demonstration, and I think that whole thing was scripted, to be fair, the demonstration of that makes a good point. In reality, trying to explain to her why she should be a good wife, you're already too far down the line. So for me, what I say is, every girl I meet, let's say I'm considering dating them, they all start at a 0, and it's like, hey, I don't know anything about you. And then let's just say 6 months go by, and everything's awesome between us. Then they move up to a 1. It's like, I can trust you. All the things you say turn out to be true. Whenever I'm away from you, I want to be near you, and you start spending more and more time with me, then you move up to a 2. 10 would be marriage. You would move up the scale over time. What guys do instead is fat ass, smile, green eyes, big fake tits, 10. Immediately, 10. Just give it all away. Yeah, what does Pimp C say? I don't pay for no pussy and my dick ain't free. 10, just give it all away immediately on the fucking rip. And that's the problem. It's like, I don't be attracted to a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. But she doesn't deserve your, what's the word I'm looking for? Resources, commitment, affection, until she's done something to show that she deserves it.
Right.
I mean, you're making a good point, bro. But the thing is, when men say, I will provide once I feel that you are worthy, or you do something to compel me to provide, women call those guys broke. Because how dare you have standards? Because how dare you require me as a woman to do something for you to show you that I'm worthy of your provision? So that's the issue that most guys are running into. Because the moment the men put their foot down, hey, listen, I'm willing to provide if you show me your wifey, do wifely things. Women are like, no, I'm not your wife yet. You haven't married me, so I'm not going to do nothing. So I think that's where the disconnect is. Men are like, hey, I will provide more and more if you show me your wifey, which means you got to do some wifey things. And women are like, no, you better marry me before I do any wifey things. So that's the disconnect. And some guys are like, you know what? It's not worth it. Because regardless, I'm going to marry you, and then you're going to divorce me and take half. So it's like, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting married.
That's what that entire video was. I mean, you're right. It is scripted. It's a clip from a longer one. The thing is that video was describing is similar to what we were talking about in the prior one, which is the guy has to measure up and do all of these things and be the husband that woman would respect and would want to be with, and would you see your husband in me, right? Before she's willing to change herself into what she thinks a wife should be and what the husband thinks a wife should be. And so therefore she's not there. He's already there, and the only reason why she's not there is because she can't trust him, or he hasn't done everything on the bullet point checklist,
or she's been taught that she doesn't have to, or she's been taught that she doesn't have to.
And honestly, she's never going to get there.
Yeah,
she won't.
If he's proved himself, then that's okay.
Well, in this case, hypothetically,
see, if he has proved himself, has she proved herself? You see what I mean? So which man in his right mind is going to take up this deal? What do you mean if I have proved myself? Have you proved yourself? Oh, so you want me to prove myself before marriage, and you only want to prove yourself after I've signed the contract of marriage, where you are, you can just divorce me whenever you want and take half my resources? That's the proving myself that you want? It's like, this is a relationship. If you want me to prove myself, you got to prove yourself to me as well. It's a 50-50, right? Equality, right?
We're looking at any male, even in the other species, like we were talking about, like the man has to impress the woman.
The end of the point I was trying to make before is, you shouldn't have this conversation. Either she's going to do it or she isn't.
Yeah.
You think of it like a side.
100%.
Yeah, you think of it like a funnel. It's like you're dating these 6 girls, and then this one she's there every day. It's like you can't. You traveled with her, and it was absolutely incredible. The sex was great. You guys really don't argue. She asks you how you feel. She doesn't tell you how you feel. She doesn't attack you. She doesn't accuse you. She doesn't exaggerate when she's losing an argument. She can occasionally take accountability when she's wrong, and you see that for a while, and then it goes on for like that for 6 months, and then you guys are away from each other for a while, and she doesn't f around with anyone else. She actually wants to be with you, and you do that for a while, and you're like, okay, now she's a level 2. Like, that's the way it should work. That's the way men should work. But instead, men are so desperate right now. There's a bottom third of men. They get no attention from women. They are completely invisible to all of you.
I totally agree.
These men don't exist, and these men are giving it away for free. And the reason why I know is because OnlyFans did $6.6 billion in revenue last year.
More than the NBA.
That's madness.
So I know even if some guys are giving up, but I think another way some guys are giving up is, like they said, is signing up for OnlyFans or, different porn sites and stuff like that. I think, because if we're going to be honest, guys, some guys are giving up on dating, but it doesn't mean they're giving up on consuming porn and consuming OnlyFans. Some guys are giving up for good. Some guys are signing up for OnlyFans. Some guys are, Pornhub. Some guys are going overseas. So that so many different spectrums, levels that men are on when it comes to giving up on dating. But when it comes to actually, I'm going to take a woman on a date, ask her for a number and plan a date, I think that's where some guys are giving up.
I would say I totally agree with you. Like, this video should have never been made because to me, this guy had attachment issues. He didn't know how to let go because this video would have never been made.
And had he let go, all of a sudden she would become a wife like that. That's the difference.
If she really loves you, she's going to be doing all of these things regardless. Like, if
Just like
100%, you ring or not, she's going to be showing up for you because that's how it works. That's chemistry. That's love.
I know.
Yeah.
The very fact that you're having that conversation in the first place, it's done. That it would enter into your brain as a concept. It's done.
Why don't you want to have sex with me? Nah.
We all do it.
Notice that when he said, what is it that you love about me? Well, you're a provider. You protect me. Provisioning, protection, parental investment. I look at you as a future resource provider is what it is. You notice that amongst all of those attributes, it wasn't, well, you lay down some pretty good, you got a 6-pack abs, and you got flared lats, and God, I love having sex with you. That was not part of that. This is what I'm looking for in my husband.
That's a good point. And I said that earlier. It's like, they love you because you're going to provide something. But the man loves her because of who she is. She doesn't have to provide anything from the beginning. Hey, you look good. Okay, sure. She looks good, but he looks good too. And then her personality, whatever it is, but it's not because of the money. It's not because of she has to do certain things. That's why even sometimes women will cancel dates and some guys will still stay pursuing, So, I mean, for those of you guys who, want the marriage, want the love story, just know she doesn't love you because she loves you. It's because you provide something, which is fair. I mean, in other words, that's what they want. They want a man who can provide and protect. That's their first goal, is, can you provide these things for me when I can't? Obviously, because they get pregnant. So it makes sense. But it's just a caution tale to men that, hey, if you think she loves you because you're a good person, no, she loves you because of what you can provide. What do you guys think about that? Shout out to these guys, and I'll put the link down below. All right, next up, we have our favorite of the show, Kendra G, man. This woman, divorced mom to 4 kids, with 4 kids, doesn't want 50-50 when she gets remarried. So let's get into it.
From Connecticut.
Yes, CT.
How old are you?
I am 33.
Okay, and what you do for a living?
I'm an MA.
What's an MA?
A medical assistant.
Okay, you have any kids?
I do. I have 4.
How old are your 4 kids?
I have a 14-year-old. I'm so nervous. I'm turning red. I have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, 7, and a year and a half almost.
Okay. By how many men?
2. I was married for 10 years and then I just got out of another one.
You got married? You've been married twice or once?
Once.
You said just got out of another what?
Relationship.
Okay. So why are you not with the 1.5-year-old dad?
He cheated on me.
How'd you find out?
I went through his stuff and found out.
You went through like a phone?
The Apple Watch.
Ooh, try that Apple Watch. Let me tell you something. I know a couple of men
Yeah.
that got caught up with the Apple Watch. Now,
Get in trouble.
if you go, here's
I guess it's true what they say. Men are very sloppy when it comes to cheating. And I'm going to be reacting to a video of a woman who said that, it's not that men cheat more. It's because women are just caught less. Men are caught more. Men are very sloppy with their cheating.
gonna be the advice for you men. If you gonna cheat, only have a walkie-talkie.
At that point.
Don't even get you a phone. Don't get you no GPS. Because ain't nothing like having your Apple Watch attached to your car. And you get in and it read your text messages out loud. Hey, baby, just thinking about you. And your woman sitting in the passenger seat trying to find out who the hell texting you saying, hey, baby, when that's the only person, supposed to be the only person calling you, hey, baby. So
you lying.
So if you going to cheat, fellas, get you a walkie-talkie. If y'all can't communicate in a walkie-talkie, then just fuck it. Like, you going to get caught. I'm telling you right now.
She's right, because I'm going to be honest. Guys don't know how to cheat. And it's crazy I'm saying that because it sounds like I am advocating for cheating, but the women even say it. That's why some of you guys are raising kids that don't belong to you, because your women know how to cheat. They made you raise some other guy's kids because you are never going to catch them. The only way you can catch them is when you ask for a DNA test, because you guys are very sloppy. You leave your phone, or you let other women come to your house when your woman is not at home, things like that. That's why men get caught easily.
It is like that.
On a serious note.
It's okay. Life experience.
You moved on. Now that one is, how many kids do you have by the 1.5-year-old dad?
Just one.
Just one, the last kid. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Angelica, Bristol, Connecticut, 33, Sagittarius, medical assistant, mom of 4 kids by 2 men, was married. Was you married to the 1.5-year-old dad or the other?
No. Yeah, the other one.
Okay. And why'd you get divorced?
I got married really, really young. I was like 19 when I got married. So I had a lot of growing to do. And I realized that I was just with him so I can just have have multiple kids with one person. And I realized I wasn't happy doing that. So I made sure.
So you chose to find another man. So you divorced. You seem to do it right the first time, have your kids in a marriage, but you divorced him, found another man who you didn't marry, and then you had a kid with him. That's doing things backwards. So the marriage wasn't good enough. You decided to be a single mom to another man that you're not married to. That's crazy.
Sure to have all of them, but then I got into another relationship and he was supposed to be a great dad, and whatever.
Okay. Don't have your head cut off.
Oh, sorry.
Girl, so they gonna say this. I'm gonna let you respond to it. You done left your husband that you had 3 kids with to go meet another man who, in so many words, cheated on you. And do you feel like the second guy? Well, let me ask you this: do you regret leaving your marriage, or do you still think that was a wise decision?
Best decision I ever made.
Okay.
So, best decision you ever made to leave a marriage with 3 kids? To only go on and have another kid with a guy you didn't marry? How was that the best decision? That doesn't make any sense. Because now, if you had moved on and got married to a new man, I would say, okay, yeah, maybe you made a good decision because you have a better marriage. But if we are considering people who get divorced and put themselves in a worse situation, and then they celebrate getting divorced as the best decision, only to go on and make a wrong decision, that's crazy. So becoming a single mom the second time was a good decision, I assume? Damn.
Okay. So you don't, okay. Fair enough. All right. Don't have your head cut off.
Sorry.
And what kind of man you looking for?
It's tough to say because, you know, they come in so many shapes and sizes. I'm not necessarily looking for a certain type of man. I'm just looking for someone who sees me for me, and can like pretty much just handle the situation that I, you know.
In other words, be a stepfather. She's looking for someone who's willing to look past the fact that she divorced a man with 3 kids and became a 2-time baby mama, and she's really wants a man who can be willing to be a stepfather to 4 kids. Okay, got it.
That I come with, I suppose.
Okay. Don't forget, don't have your head cut off.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
What are your deal breakers?
Definitely cheaters, obviously. I don't want to say liars because I feel like everyone lies in some way, shape, or form, some capacity. Everyone lies. So everyone should know no one wants a liar. But I think anger issues is definitely a deal breaker. Like, learn how to control your own issues. I have come from growth. I've learned how to grow in my past. So come healed in some sense. We could work on some things together because I feel like every new relationship comes with its own demons and stuff. But yeah, just come correct. And not being lazy. I don't like a lazy man. No, thank you.
Of course, in your situation, I don't expect you to accept a lazy man because he's gonna have to pay bills for you and for your 4 kids, so he cannot be lazy. So I'm actually agreeing with her. That's a good, that's something good she should be asking for, because any man who doesn't have money to come and be a stepfather to 4 kids, it's gonna cost you.
Okay.
Like,
don't be lazy. Could he have kids?
Yeah, he can have kids.
Do you want more kids?
I know. I'm all set.
Okay, she's all set. So come with BYOB. Bring your own baby.
Bring your own.
All right. Should he look a certain way?
Clean, very clean. Put together. In a sense of, you know, when you step out, you know, you look apart. If you're at home, you're chilling like how I am right now. Be comfortable. And be happy with who you are and what you are. You know, I don't want anyone's change. I'm not going to change. I think I'm not stuck in my ways, but I'm stuck in my way of how I am already. So
that's the same thing. You simply just she said, I'm not stuck in my ways, but I'm stuck in my way. That's the same thing.
Be open and ready to communicate with what you want and what you see going forward. Don't just like leave me hanging.
Should he make a certain amount of money?
Here we go.
Not necessarily. Be able to take care of yourself and me, because
and the 4 kids. Don't forget that, mama, and the 4 kids.
Eventually I want to be able to open my own business. So if you can't provide for yourself alone, then being able to provide for both of us is not going to be ideal, because I want to be able to branch off and do this by have my own little thing, but not struggle in a sense.
Wait, so you want him to be able to provide for you and your children?
Of course.
In a sense, technically, because we're all gonna be in one household.
Exactly.
I want him to be able to provide for his own children too. So I could provide for mine, but eventually we're gonna have to put our incomes together. So be able to make the same amount as I do or more, not less, not minimum wage, pretty much.
Okay.
So which man? Because she has 4 kids, she's not giving you any more kids. Right? And then there's a chance you have to deal with the baby daddies, because let's be honest, most baby daddies don't like new men to deal with their kids, to tell them what to do, because those kids also don't. It doesn't mean they're going to respect you as a stepfather, because they'll be like, you're not my daddy, you can't tell me what to do, right? Because some are teenagers, right? So the man, if he has his own kids, is supposed to come in, pay bills for himself, his own kids, for her, and for the 4 kids, and he's not getting any kids. And then he has to deal with the baby daddy drama. Like, which guy on earth is willing to put himself in that situation? Like, you have to be, I don't even know. You have to be maybe brain dead or something.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. So you're willing to do 50-50?
For the most part, yeah. Unless we're married. If we're not married, then there won't be. I mean, if we're married, we're not doing 50-50. There we go.
So what would be the dynamics? What would be the dynamics when you get married?
When we get married, I would take care of like household things like toiletries, the groceries, stuff like that. But as far as like bills, I feel like I shouldn't say a man should take care of, but I do feel like a man should be paying majority of like the house that we live under should be his household.
Damn. So I think she's looking for a sugar daddy. And if not, she's looking for a sucker. And if not that, then she's looking for a man who's dumb and stupid. I'm going to be honest. Like, which man is willing to come in to pay for 4 kids that don't belong to him? And retirement plan, because she's not planning to pay any bills. Like, which kind of deal is that? Like, what is the man getting in return? That's my only question. I hope Kendra can ask that. What is the man gonna get in return? Because she knows everything a man should give her. I want to hear what she has to give the man in return. Because we know for now she can't give you any kids.
Okay, so let's just do some math real quick. Okay, because you have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old, right? So let's just say you get married, and this man, let's just say he has 2 kids.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be 6 kids plus you, because that would be 7. So you're saying this man has to make enough income if you get married to take care of 7 people, well, really 8, including himself.
Good question, Kendra. You see how she stopped and she's thinking about it? That lets you know they never think about the things they ask for. They just expect the man to provide. They never do the math of, you know what? Is this a fair deal? He has to pay for himself, for his kids, my kids, and me, and then I don't have to pay for anything. They never take time to think about it like, is this a fair deal? Like, which man is willing to take this deal? Good question, Kendra.
I mean, technically, yeah, because you know what you are getting when you meet me. If I come with all of the kids and I am already taking care of them by myself anyways, so I mean, if I could take care of them on the income that I'm on, then
you should continue to take care of them on the income that you're on. And when you and you will be a blessed woman if you find a man that will be willing to be a partner with you. Because I just gotta say, even when I presented it to you, you stopped to take a breath. But does that even sound fair? Like, it doesn't even sound fair, the request that you're asking.
Thank you, Kendra. Finally. This is a sign Kendra is starting to wake up. I'm telling you, Kendra has done the math and be like, is this really a good deal for any man? Because mind you, these women don't think about it. They only know a list of things they expect the man to provide. They never think about that. Is this really a good deal for a man? So I'm not going to give him any keys. You know, some of them even sometimes say, I'm not going to give you any sex till after marriage, but I expect you to pay for my bills, pay for your bills, pay for my kids that don't belong to you, and I'm not giving you any kids. It's like, is that a good deal? Thank you, Kendra. Thank you so much. Finally, you see how men are saying this is delusion of the highest order.
I mean, you're saying this man has to make enough money to take care of 8 people because that's what a man should do. You'll buy groceries, you'll buy toiletries. No, you come with 4 kids. And if he has 2, we're doing hypotheticals. This is hypothetical. Right. But let's take out his 2 kids. You come with 4 kids, and then that's 5. So you're saying if I marry you, yes, I'm not ever paying the mortgage. Like, I think ladies start thinking of this in a math equation. Like,
they don't.
I mean, yeah. Crazy. Realistically, yeah, I get it.
They don't. That's our point. They don't, and they do not care. Because they say, you already know what you're getting yourself into. And she said the same thing. And if men try to speak up and be like, you know what, that's not a good deal. You know what they say? They call you sassy. They call you gay. They call you dusty. And they call you broke. All because you're trying to say, hey, lady, just look at this. Do you think this is a good deal? They're like, you can't afford me. You're broke. I don't need no broke nigga. Dusty. Sassy. Oh, men are sassy these days. They want women to go 50-50. No, it's not that the men want 50-50. They're trying to say, is this a good deal? Because let's be honest, relationships are a give and take. So the man is providing for you and your kids. What does he get in return? It's a give and take. It's called a relationship for a reason. If it's one way, it's not a relationship. It's slavery, whatever you want to call it.
I just feel like if the bills are being paid 50-50, then the household is and everything's being split 50-50 as well. If I'm working and I've got to.
You said, I asked you about that. You said if you get married, you're not doing 50-50.
Oh, no, I thought you meant money wise. I didn't think you meant like life, like
I
home
did
wise.
mean money wise. And you said if you get, I did mean money wise. And you said if you get married, you don't believe in 50-50.
I didn't say, I'm not that I don't believe in it. I just feel like there should be a common ground. It's your home. Like for example, we go and we buy a house together. Like right now.
I can rewind the tape.
Yes, you can rewind it.
Let me see if I can rewind the tape.
She did say no 50-50.
You allowed this to replay. Let me see if I can rewind the tape live on what you said. Because I thought you said if you get married, you're not going to do 50-50.
She did say that.
Because the expectation is him as your husband.
Yeah.
I could have heard it wrong.
I thought you meant like 50. So you don't mean house-wise. You're talking about money-wise, 50-50.
I'm talking about money-wise.
Okay. I don't mind. I feel like 50-50 is okay. It's fine in a sense of like if you want me to make certain decisions, like for an example, if I get into another relationship and we decide to tie the knot and we are moving forward with our relationship, my kids are not only going to be in the picture for so I shouldn't say that. That sounds so wrong. But my oldest is almost in high school. Almost in college and so on and so forth. So in that series, our household will be shrinking in some sense.
Listen,
your household won't be shrinking. And the reason why is because just because the kids don't live in the house doesn't mean they don't expect you to provide, especially when it comes to college tuition. So yeah, the kids don't live in the house, but they're in college. So that means you're paying college tuition. And it's usually more expensive than, all the years before they even went to college.
I'm a girl in my 40s. And if I need money from my daddy, he still give it to me in my 40s. I think
I love that for
knows
you.
if you got kids for a lifetime. Those bills, if your kids, and if you marry a man, I think you want him to accept that, right? Like, I don't think you want a man thinking that once this kid turn 18, we ain't never going to see them again. That's not kind of really how life happens, nor do you want a man that way. I think this money conversation, I don't know why. I don't usually deep dive in it, but I think it's worthy of deep diving in it because I think what a lot of women don't know is there's a lot of partnership income relationships, right? It's actually more common than not. And it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing, especially when you come with a lot of expenses. Like, you come with 4 kids. So I just think that to not saying it's impossible, because you might hit the lottery, girl. You might meet a rich man who got bigger.
And this is the first time I've seen Kendra actually try to dissect, because this is something Kevin Samuels used to do, and women used to hate him for this. So I'm surprised Kendra is deep diving and trying to dissect these women's expectations of men, because women may turn on her as well and start saying she hates black women, she hates women's standards, and she's attacking women's preferences. Because this is the same thing Kevin Samuels used to do. He used to ask her, do you want to get married? Do you have kids? Do you want to pay bills? And the women would be like, no. And then he's like, is that fair to a man? And this is the same thing Kendra is doing. But I think she's just tired of women having unrealistic expectations. But shout out to her, because finally, this is something men have been saying for ages, and they say men hate women. Just because they're asking, is it a fair deal to a man to come in and pay for your kids?
House who got enough room for all you and your kids, and and you can live happily ever after. Like, again, I'm not God, so I'm not gonna say it can't happen.
Yes,
but
in real life,
but it probably won't. So if you're already fending for you and your kids, and you meet a man who's willing to love on your kids, but you might have to still add some money to the mortgage, that's not a bad thing.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's not a bad thing. And I think that's why I put it in the math equation, because I think sometimes women let me tell you the reason why, because I make money, okay? And that's why I think with money, because when you make money, you think about your money, and it turns you off when people feel entitled to your money. I'm a woman and I work. Nothing has been given to me ever in life. Everything I have is because I work for it. And nothing turns me off more when a person feels as though they're entitled to my hard income and my money because of whatever reason.
Yeah, Kendra, but you a woman. The difference is, sure, you don't like people who feel entitled to your money, but when men say that same exact thing, that hey, listen, I'm not entitled. You can't. You shouldn't be entitled for me to pay for your bills. You shouldn't feel entitled for me to pay for bills for your own kids that don't belong to me. You know what the women say? You're dusty. You're sassy. You are broke. How dare you? I'm the prize. I'm the queen. How dare you not want to pay for my bills? I'm the woman. You're a man. It's your job. And the men simply say, okay, but what do I get in return? It's like nothing. I'm the man. You're the man. It's your job. I'm the woman. You should provide for me. You should accept me and my kids. She said the same exact thing. So, Kendra, I understand what you're saying. People don't like to feel, and you shouldn't, you don't want people to feel entitled to your money, but you're a woman. So the women will never say those things, say the same things they say to you, the same things they say to men.
Right. Nothing turns me off faster. So I think I could always understand the mindset of a man in that category as a woman who has made her own money, right? So I think that you're a pretty woman. I could tell you done got it together. And this is like you just natural right here, right? So I don't know. This money conversation on the internet has really, I think, affected a lot of relationships. But I think if we thought about it like in a partnership way, you would see what you're really saying.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's a tough conversation because you're in front of a million different people who have a million different opinions, and it's easier to just say something and just go through with the question. It's a lot harder to when you sit back and you think about it, it makes it a lot easier. But I'm nervous.
And last thing I want to add, and then we will move on because I feel like we're having a teachable moment right here. And then all the women that a lot of women are looking up to and they feel like she got a soft life and she's getting all her bills paid for. Let me tell you something, honey. Ain't nothing for free. Okay? If she ain't paying with it with finances, she's paying with it with her integrity.
Right.
She's paying with it with her spirituality, well-being, because she's probably potentially tolerating something that's why the money is covering it up. And Cassie is the biggest example of this. All the people that used to want to be Cassie's life, oh, she's with this billionaire man. She's flying first class. She don't got to pay no bills. She gets to have dinner with Jay-Z and Beyonce. You ain't know she was paying for that by some man peeing in her mouth. So the man that was paying for it could be an enjoyment. So this is why y'all got to stop desiring other people's situations, because you don't even know what people are going through to have the lifestyle that you claiming you want so desperately so. If you are a human being and you can fend for yourself, you are a blessed somebody. You are a blessed somebody. There's this saying of, I'd rather cry in the Rolls Royce than in a Honda. How about the prayer should be, if I really want a Rolls Royce, I make enough money to buy it, so I don't got to cry in that either.
I mean, shout out to Kendra for this was, I think, a teachable moment. But for me, the way I see this, eventually, unless this is a one-time thing, if she keeps doing this, trying to check the women, hey, listen, your standards are too ridiculous. Think about how a man would see this. One, women may stop calling in because women don't like accountability. Because what she's doing is what, like I said, Kevin Samuels used to do. Women who say she hates women's preferences, and then they will stop calling in. Or they would just say, she's jealous because she's also single, that she can't get a man like that. But what she's doing is really trying to make the ladies see it from a man's point of view. And obviously they're not going to like that. All they know is, I want a rich man to come in, accept my kids. I want a sugar daddy, accept my kids, pay for my bills. But they don't know that lifestyle comes at a price. And she gave a good example of Cassie and Diddy. The lifestyle, the expensive lifestyle, going to Cancun and to all the trips, first class being paid for, you don't have to pay for the bills. It comes at a price. But the women don't care. All they want is a soft life, They don't have to work. They don't have to pay bills. The man has to take care of everything, and it comes at to cost. So shout out to Kendra. This was a good show. The first time I've seen her really break down everything to a woman when it comes to their preferences. What do you guys think about that? Link down below for the full video to Kendra's G's channel. All right, next up we have Anton Daniels, man. They were talking about the issues when it comes to men and women, and is it worth for men to chase women anymore? So let's get into it. There's a section I want to go through with you guys. All right, let's go.
Time. They lose too much by doing it.
Oh, fucking
I think that this is all men's fault.
Me too, Carrie.
I think this is all men's fault. I think that, first of all, let me just say, I am so happy that social media and the internet were not around when I was a teenager, because, ooh, that would have certainly been me. I had like a 3-page list of like requirements, things I didn't want or wanted in a guy. First of all, I don't even know why I had a list in high school, but I did. I mean, it was down to how many outfits from Aeropostale he needed to have. That was the story. It was so.
Abercrombie and Fitch in this bitch.
But
Funny.
I basically sat down and made this list that I added to. And as much as my dad, God bless his heart, as much as my dad has taught me about life, when I say I blame men, I'm really just saying that I really think that men, the father, if you didn't have a father, if your father passed, if he wasn't in your life, like some male role model who cares about you needs to tell you what to look for in a man, because we don't know. Like, we don't. We're sitting here thinking like, yup, romance, bad boy, money, can't be a geek. Like, we're literally saying yin and yang in our heads in the list. We are making up a person who does not exist anywhere. Like,
but Carrie, you're assuming that men don't do this. Men do. The women don't like to listen. And especially once they become 18, they watch the movies, the Disney fantasy, and the gangster movies, the music. We have the sexy raids and things like that. The Cardi B's, once they see those things, no matter what their dad told them that, hey, this is the type of man you should choose, they don't care. They're never gonna listen. So you can't really blame men. They're gonna do what they can do, even if their dad tells them choose a good man, an average man, over a guy who's going to give you all the money, because it comes with certain things that you may have to put up with if a man is paying for all the bills. They don't listen. They just want the money, and usually their moms will tell them something different from what their dad tells them. So if you're going to blame the dads, you may have to sometimes blame the mom as well, because the mom will tell their daughters, choose a guy who has money over an average guy.
Like, period. And as much as our moms or our aunties or whatever can probably share with us and love us and like us and tell us, they're still women. So they still might put a little dust of their own bias into it. So we just need men who love us to be like, hey, this is what you need to look for once you get to the age or whatever the case may be. That's it. Don't add on to this list. Don't change this list. This is the list. Now go on and be.
Well, but y'all don't listen to your dads. You don't listen to your uncles. You don't listen to your big brothers. You listen to your girlfriends more than you listen to the male influences in your life. So I don't agree, Carrie. I don't agree with you.
Well, I'm of the mindset like women can't have it all. Let's start there. And then back to my previous point about people are just winging it. Like, this whole being intentional, fuck that shit. That's not a thing. Because you get with a person and you have this list, and then they show you other shit that you didn't know you wanted, type of shit that wasn't on the list. And what do you mean? Like, that's why you just get it and you just kind of rock and see what this person is. And you like some of the stuff, you don't like some of the other stuff, and you just go from there. Like, this whole list and
I didn't have a
checking shit
list,
off.
but I didn't have a list, Carrie. But when I was in the 9th grade, I wanted Conan.
The barbarian.
Fucking weird.
It looked like he had callus.
Did Conan have red hair or some shit?
What's in
it? So, Carrie, I think that women could better guide like the younger women, but I think that a lot of it is not wanting to say where they messed up in life, you know, where they went left. They'll say stuff like, oh, be careful with who you have kids with, but then that's it. Like, what does that mean? You know,
Exactly.
they've just like left you with this conundrum to figure out on your own, and it's not detailed enough. So I think that it would be most helpful to have that information from your dad telling you, you know, what to look out for. But then also coming from a woman to say, I tried that and this is what happened. And I tried that and this is what happened. And so instead of saying like, oh, you need to be careful with who you have kids with, you need to be saying stuff like, you know, make sure that you discipline in the same way, make sure you want to raise them with the same values and things of that nature. But people don't normally break it down in the way that's like like you can learn from.
Yeah, but the issue is the older women are also competing with the young women for the same kind of man. They're not competing with the younger women for the plumber, for the electrician, for the teacher. No, they're competing with the younger women for the athletes, for the NBA players, for the rappers. You know, for all the guys with the money, with the Benzes. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't think the older women would give good advice to younger women because they want the men the younger women want as well, because they believe they still have what it takes. We have seen so many women like that who still believe they deserve a good man, the Joy Taylors of this world. They're way older. They should be talking to the younger women. Hey, don't do this. I didn't do that. Even the older single moms, they don't want to tell the younger women what to avoid and why they shouldn't become single moms. All they preach is be independent, get a career, don't be with a broke man.
No, I agree with you, but that's also why I still say I think that it should be something that the foundation is set from a man who cares about you, which sucks because I get it. A lot of people are raised without having that. Or, you know, again, in my case, my dad didn't talk to me about that till later on. By that time I was already, you know, making my list. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
I just say as a man, I've never made a list. Maybe.
What made you make that list? I've never made a list either, but 3 pages.
Man, because I was I was a kid who sat and just dreamed and thought and whatever. So I always wanted a husband. Like I always envisioned having a man when I got older, or you know, so I'm like, what do I want in them? You know, and then.
But I think every woman has a long list. Every woman has a long list. Now, whether they can get a man with everything checked off on their long list is one thing. And whether they can get a man at all is another thing. You feel me? Now, it may take them some time eventually when they're older to realize, you know what? I wanted a guy who's this, who's a gangster, who's this, but maybe that doesn't work for me. You know, 2 baby daddies later, they may realize, okay, that's not important. I need a stable guy. But now they want a stepfather. And now which guy is willing to come in to be a stepfather? You feel me? So, and also obviously, like I say, the social media, the rappers, the musicians, the Cardi B's, they compare the women, those women who have influence over the younger generation of women, or women in general, they compare themselves to those kind of women. They see a friend taking a trip on a first class to Mexico, to Dubai, and they're comparing, they're thinking, you know what? Let me add that to my list. I want a man who can take me to vacations because they saw their friend on Instagram being taken to Dubai by a man. So they add that to their list. And by the time they realize that, hey, I have a list of 20 things, I can't get all of them, they go, okay, let me settle for 15. Oh no, I can't get 15 things from a man. Let me settle for 10. Oh my God, that's still a lot. Some of them choose, you know what, I'll just be single. Some of them You know, they call it settling. I would just settle for a guy who has 5 things out of 10 things I want. But he gotta accept me the way I am. So men look at that and like, that's not a good deal for me.
And again, interacting with guys earlier on, and it doesn't mean sex per se, but just interacting, you're like, oh, you know, I like that, I don't like that, I wouldn't want that. So it's like the best way for me to get the guy I want is write it down. So let me start making my list. But again, this is the naivety and the, you know, this is me coming up with how to do this, as opposed to that being like laid down for me.
I don't think it's necessarily being naive, because I do think that there's power in like writing things down. I think that helps to manifest these things into like a real situation. I mean, I had a list.
Nah. I don't care what you write down. I don't care how much you manifest it. But if it's delusional, it's out of this world, it's unrealistic, you should be able to have that discernment to be like, you know what? I want a millionaire. How many millionaires are there in the world? What's the chance I'm going to find one? Where is he going to find me? Do I hang out where millionaires hang out? Those are questions you got to ask yourself. So I don't care how much you manifest those things. It doesn't mean you're going to get them. You have to be realistic. But y'all don't want to be realistic. You want to live in the Disney fantasy and then wish and hope that the millionaire will find you in your apartment.
Too, and my list was stupid, ridiculous, and shallow until I went back and was like, okay, what do I really want out of a person? Like, I need character qualities, right? And just like, oh, he's 6'5", and you know what I mean? Like, you got to go back and tweak that list. And then after that list, I went back like, okay, and I said this yesterday or someday, you know, trying to figure out, okay, if I got this man, who does this man deserve? What is the list for a woman that deserves to look like man? Where am I measuring up on this list? Because it's just not fair to say this is who I want and then not be that person for him.
Facts. Oh my gosh. Shout out to I think that's Kimmy. That's exactly something I've been talking about recently. Once women start to, I mean, you can have a list of things you want from a man, but once women start asking themselves, okay, what kind of woman does this man want? What do I bring to his life? Once they start to come, you know, towards the situation from that angle, I think most women will find the kind of man they want. Or at worst, they will stop looking for that man because they will find out they don't have the things that kind of man wants. Because men do it all the time. Okay, I want Beyonce. A woman who's like Beyonce. Okay, what type of things does Beyonce want? Does a woman like Beyonce want? Maybe she wants a millionaire. Oh, guys are quick to be, you know what? I'm not a millionaire. I can't get her. I stop manifesting and hoping and wishing. I stop the delusion. But women, it takes them so long to figure out that, you know what? I want a millionaire man, but you know what? I don't have what it takes to get that kind of man. And maybe I don't even have what he wants from a woman. Once they start doing that, I think this will save them a lot of time and come out of the delusion. And maybe consider average men, but they still don't want average men. So I guess
that part, the assumption is like everything I'm writing, I deserve however I am.
Well, that's why when we had this conversation before, Carrie, I was saying that a lot of women aren't raised to be wives. And that's probably why I'm not thinking about the list. I'm just like, I'm going to have this man and that's it, because I'm like, I'm already being taught to do this and this and this. So when I get that person, it's already set in stone versus having to actually learn to be something that you can, you know, learn from childhood.
Facts. Mika is right, because we have often heard about this. As we're growing up as men, we are taught how to treat women. We are taught what to do for women. We are taught what women expect from a man. Even women tell us a real man does ABCD, a real man provides. You know, one thing we never hear is what a real woman does for a man. No. We never hear about that part. And even when a man is like, okay, what do you bring to the table? The women are like, I'm the table. So the man is like, okay, if you're the table, you got your own self. So what do you need me for? You feel me? So women are not taught how to be wives, or are not taught what men want from them. So it's the dynamic that is really just gonna cause more divide when it comes to men and women in terms of relationships. What do you guys think about that? Shout out to Anton Daniels. Link down below to the after hours, because as you know, Anton Daniels has so many channels. All right, next we are going to Kendra G. This woman used to be a porn star, and she has 11 kids, but now wants a new man. It's crazy out here. So let's go.
Oh, now. How old are you, Tish?
35.
35. What you do for a living?
I'm an escort. What?
So you get paid to have sex with men?
Correct.
What you got for? You already got to pull them in.
No, listen. But I'm trying, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, I just want to, you know, one friend, that's it.
So the men you sleeping with, they can't be a friend?
Good question.
I mean, they okay, you know, they already occupied, they are married and stuff like that, you know, so.
This is crazy. This is crazy, but guys, I don't even think this is a one thing. I don't think she's the only one. I think there's so many out there like her. So she has 11 kids. Married men pay her money to sleep with them, but she's now looking for a real man, for a friend. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, well, the reality of the escort ward, the men are married. Never thought about it that way.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get out that game, and I want a nice friend, you know, and stuff like that.
So you want a man to date you while you're an escort?
I mean, I said if we like get there, I would stop.
So in the front part, are you guys being intimate?
Oh, you saw me in the.
The
No,
guys looking for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just searching for now. Yeah.
But you're saying friend, but you want this friendship to become something serious, right?
Yeah, you know, eventually, like, you know, we have to see where it's going. You know, I can't just say, oh, I'm going to be in a relationship with you. I have to learn you just as well as you have to learn me.
Well, let me ask you, have you ever had a boyfriend while you've been an escort?
I have, of course, I have 11 kids.
Are you being honest?
I'm being very honest with you. Yeah.
How many baby daddies do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, so you couldn't be with any of those men?
No, because he's a mess. He was toxic, my first baby daddy.
But you kept having babies with him. He was toxic, but you had a couple babies with him. Now you have 11 from 2 men. I'm surprised. I thought she was going to say like 5 baby daddies.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is 14 years old with a 2-year-old. And
your 14-year-old daughter has a 2-year-old daughter?
Yeah. A 2-year-old son.
Damn. You see what I talk about with the cycle, the generational trauma, the generational cycle? It's more likely that a single mom is going to have kids that become single moms too. Damn.
A 2-year-old son?
Yeah.
So your daughter got pregnant at 11?
Yeah, she got pregnant at 11 and had her baby at 12. Correct.
Did she get pregnant by a boy her age?
Yes.
Tish, here's the deal. You're being authentic with me, right?
I'm being very authentic with you.
This is a lot, and you already know this space. So are you ready for the conversation that's going to be had around you?
Yeah, definitely.
How did you feel about your 11-year-old daughter getting pregnant?
I mean, I was extremely, you know, sad, and I brought it to social media, you know, on my other page. It happened at school. And we're doing like not me, but my baby daddy, we're doing the consequences, you know, like, you know, he's trying to sue the school because he felt like, you know, it's, you know, that shouldn't have happened or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm being very authentic with you.
No, I mean, I feel like there has to be some type of legal grounds against this.
Exactly, because I mean, you know, but my child, you know, at first she did not want the child. And I forced her to have it because I don't believe in, you know, aborting kids. And yeah.
So how older are your kids? You have an 11-year-old daughter.
No, my
11
daughter's
kids.
14.
I'm sorry, 11 kids. 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to go
to all the ages?
Come on, let's talk about something else.
Okay, but listen, are you familiar with my show?
Look, Kendra, I am not playing on your show. I'm just
I said, are you familiar with my show? What I'm asking you are the normal questions I ask everyone.
I mean, she has for 11 kids, so I see why she doesn't want to have to go through the list. But I think the reason Kendra is adamant to ask for the ages of the kids is because some women may come on here and lie. Let's say a woman says I have 15 kids, but she doesn't know the ages for all the kids. Some women may come and lie just to get attention. So I see why Kendra really wants her to say all the ages of the kids.
So you know what? I didn't send you. I'm not going to be honest with you. I didn't send you, but I just never like really watched your show. I said she's a nice person, so you know, it's a liar. Well, hey, as long as I know the truth. So oh well, thank you. Okay.
Okay. Well, I will say this. So these are the questions I ask everyone, right? And when you say the amount of kids, the next question is how old are they? So you said 14.
Still.
Okay, you're gonna prolong the inevitable. We got to get all the ages.
Oh my gosh, you want all my kids' ages?
Yes.
No, Kendra.
Kendra's not playing around.
Well, we can enter here if you want to.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay.
No, we can end the whole live. You have to. I mean, I'm not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do, but this is
okay. Well, we'll end.
You know what's so crazy? I just had another woman who called me up and didn't want to tell me. She didn't want to tell me the amount of kids. So you told me the amount of kids.
No, I told you my amount of kids.
Right. So now you got to tell the ages, honey.
I'm being. You want me to put? You say I'm lying? Okay. Well,
I didn't say for lying.
I'm talking about the comments. They said if I'm lying, I'm lying.
Tish, you're deflecting. You're deflecting. You know, I know I'm a professional journalist. I know when a question is not being answered. So we don't move past this question. So how old are your 11 kids?
They start still. 14.
Okay, Tish, we can disconnect if you desire. It's your choice, but I have to get all the ages. And I don't want to waste 10 minutes on a question you could just answer very easily.
I just told you start still.
I don't know. You have to tell me the exact ages.
14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and I have a 1-year-old.
So the 1-year-old, and this is by 2 men?
Yes.
Have you ever been married?
No.
And why you're not with the 1-year-old dad again?
What you talking about, the one with the 10 kids?
Oh, you have 10 kids by one and then 1 kid by one other person?
Yeah, correct.
10 kids with 1 man. And then she said he's toxic, but it's like, was he toxic when you guys first had 2 kids? Did he become toxic after you guys had 4 kids? Did he become toxic after you guys had 6 kids? Like, at what point did he become toxic regardless, you still kept giving him more and more kids with him every other year? Damn. Like, if you have 10 kids with 1 guy, you might as well die together. But it's like that wasn't enough. She went on to have a kid with a new man. Damn.
Yeah, why are you not with the man you have 10 kids with?
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Because he is off the chain. I mean, and I don't want that. You know, he put like this. I mean, he made pretty good money and stuff like that. And I actually stayed in one of his houses. But, you know, it's like he the type, he likes to control people. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Like, he have a whole woman that he stays with. And
the man that has 10 kids? The one you have 10 kids by?
Yeah, I call her to help, you know what I'm saying? Because he just using her to keep my kids.
So, Tish, listen, when I sit here, it's my first time ever meeting you. To be assured you're not trying to just troll me right now.
Like
no,
everything
I'm being so honest with you. Now this time I am being so honest with you. I'm trying to pour my heart out to you.
Okay.
And if you don't believe me, I mean, you can go read my story if you don't believe me.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
He the type like this, like he'll constantly, he the type, my kids stay with him. And so, a lot of females be like, why you don't have your baby? Why you don't have your kids and this and that? Because, at this point, I stay in his place, one of his places. And so, a lot of people always, get to the point and like, do you have men coming over? No, I respect him. I don't have men coming over. I go to, like the hotels and stuff like that. But, you know what I'm saying? And I also practice safe sex. I use rubbers. So, but this time the rubber had slipped out and I got pregnant by one of my escorts. And I thought it was...
Oh my God. So she has 10 kids with a guy, but the 11th kid was because, like she said from the beginning, she has sex for money. And the 11th guy was because the condom broke. So that means because she's still doing sex for money, there's a chance the condom will break again and she'll have the 12th kid. And there will be a chance the condom can break again after that with another man and she'll have the 12th, the 11th, the 13th kid. And then that could keep happening. But now she's on Kendra J's show to find a man who's going to accept all this. Like, which man? Like, seriously, I need, apart from a man who just, because some guys are going to reach out to her because they see it as easy chicks. They want to clap the cheeks, right? I mean, she's a sex worker, so some guys don't mind. They'll still go in her inbox because they want to clap cheeks. Some guys are going to see if these are free booty, right? But which man is actually going to be willing to be in a relationship with this woman? Because this sounds like trauma of the highest order. Mind you, she has a 14-year-old who already has a kid. The generational trauma and cycle is crazy.
By him, we did the blood test, and he got to the point he got very upset in his feelings, and he started trying to, say he don't want my kids to be around my new baby, and he started making me pay rent.
Okay. So,
this is a lot.
You never been married, right? You said?
No.
All right. So Tish, Illinois, 35 is escort, mom to 11, kids by 2 men, 10 are by 1 man, and 1 is by an escort. Tish, what kind of man are you looking for?
I told you I'm just looking for now a friend, and if things happen, it just happen. You follow me?
A friend.
What are your deal breakers?
I don't like liars.
Okay.
I don't want nobody who into like drugs or nothing like that. That's the deal breaker. I don't smoke cigarettes and I don't want my guy to do it neither.
Should he look a certain way?
No, looks don't faze me, but he gotta have coins.
How much money should he make?
6 figures or better or more.
Oh my God, guys, I'm sorry, but I swear at this point, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if dating is worth it. Because a woman with 11 kids who's a sex worker, she has sex with married men for money, is saying she needs a man who makes 6 figures as well. Yo. Oh my God. Oh my God. 20 years from now, they're going to make a documentary about this. This is so crazy.
So more than 6 figures is 7. So you're saying be a millionaire?
Yeah.
Your child, the child of 10's dad was wealthy.
Yes.
I'm assuming you get child support.
No, how do I get child support and my kids stay with him?
Oh, so all your kids live with him?
Yeah.
Do any of them live? All you have is the 1-year-old?
Yeah, my 1-year-old girl. Yeah.
So is this a court appointed? Did the court appoint your children to live with him?
No, it wasn't like that. It's just like, the simple fact that, I stay up on his roof. So, what I'm saying, he felt like, he thought I was going to try to put him on child support, but that wasn't even the case, whatever, stuff like that. So he was like, well, you stay, once we had split up, we split up like around about 5 years ago. And so he got the, nice big house and stuff like that or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I stay here, with my baby. And so he had told me that if I, he thought I was going to try to put him on child support. So he had said, well, just give me my kids and stuff like that so I can take her out. And I said, okay. Until things get better, whereas I can buy me a house.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think some guys, especially guys who have money, would be willing to do that rather than being put on child support. But some women just use child support because obviously it's a way of controlling a man, but also because they get money. So in this case, it's like, okay, if you can't take care of the kids, give the man the kids. And she did. So shout out to her for that.
Let's do the Kendra Cam, Tish.
Kendra is speechless.
That's when you stand up and we see your full body.
Girl. Oh my God. See, look, I don't know about none of this, but girl,
you don't have to take your clothes off. You just have to stand up.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The point is, I only got on that, and
Well, do you want to go put something on?
Yeah, I'll put something on. So you wouldn't have wait that long for me to do that.
Well, it can't take forever.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, what you want to do? Can I do it another time?
No, we'll have to end here.
Okay, we can just end it.
I'll disconnect you. What you want to do, Tish?
Kendra, you sound like you're a very nice person, and I respect you, and I will be still watching your show.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best.
Thank you, love. All right.
Kendra is speechless. This is what's crazy. But I want to hear what she has to say because 11 kids, sex worker, looking for a new man. Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say, Kendra. I know. Lost of words.
I don't got nothing. Tish wore me the hell out. Tish wore me the hell out. Okay? I almost wanted her to be trolling. I literally wanted her to be lying to me. I wanted her to say sight. I was hoping she was gonna say sight. April Fools. I know we're in May. Shit, make a move a date. April Fools. May Fools. Thought she was gonna say Happy Hanukkah. Like something, anything. I was waiting for her to say it was all a lie. She ain't never say it was a lie.
Well, Kendra, you have to be, by now, for all these years you've been running the show, you have to be used to it by now. Because I think what you did was empower these women to speak their truth, like they like to say, to come and open up to you. I think some women see Kendra as a therapist at this point. They call in not because they really want to find a man, but because they have someone to tell their life story. Hey, I'm a sex worker. I got kids. I got 10 baby daddies. I got ABCD. And she listens. So some women don't mind because they don't have anyone to talk to. So maybe that's why she keeps getting this type of ladies. But what do you guys think about that? Any man willing? Any man willing to take the deal? She's a sex worker, 11 kids, and she wants you to just be a friend. Any man willing to take the deal? Some of you guys may be looking for love. She may be a good option for you guys. What do you guys think? Link down below to Kendra's G show. All right, next up, shout out to Ashley, man. I call her the sugar daddy connector. Women come onto our show looking for sugar daddies, in my opinion. But let's get into it.
Hi, how are you? Welcome in. Hi, welcome in. Do you consent to be on a live and potentially off platform?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a 2-year-old and she's trying to get in, but I'm not really the biggest fan of that. Hi, Ashley. I'm a really big fan of yours. Thank you for, welcoming me into your life.
Absolutely.
My only question, I know you said one question, and I know you also say a lot of time that don't look at the comments when you come up. Like, let's focus on the dialogue, let's have a good conversation. Let's get into some things. So the thing that I want to get into, I'm from Las Vegas, born and raised. I am 28 years old. And really, my main question is, do you see anything on social media or in real life that other people, single mothers, I should say, because I'm a single mom myself. I was in a 8-year relationship with both of my children's dad. So they have the same dad. And I wanted to know if you had any advice for women who are single mothers and they're trying to step back into the dating world.
I know you are a single mom, but you don't always need to acknowledge that you are when you're going out to date, Men don't acknowledge it, so I don't think, women should.
What do you mean men don't acknowledge it? Maybe because men are not expecting women to provide for their kids. But as a single mom, if you're looking for a man who's potentially going to be a stepfather, let's say you want marriage, something serious, and you guys are going to live under the same roof, and he's going to be compelled to provide for your kids that don't belong to him, you might as well be honest from the beginning. But let's hear what Ashley has to say, what kind of advice she gives her.
So I think you just need to get yourself together, work on who you are, and put yourself back out there.
Okay. I like that advice. I think that personally, a lot of people me personally, I'll just speak on me. When I first got back into the dating world or decided that I wasn't going to take any more time, I should say, with my children's father, I realized I had to know my worth and my children, my history, my dating history, and the things that I did when I was younger and unexperienced doesn't define me. And not only did I want to ask for your advice, I wanted to encourage any other ladies who are also, single mothers. Like you said, you do not have to accept that as your identity. I don't make that my identity. It's easier to relate to other women when they go through what you go through or maybe something similar. So I appreciate you saying you don't have to acknowledge that. And it's not you're hiding your children, because I did see that a lot too, on TikTok. People were saying like, well, I think Shira said, I don't mention having kids. And it's not that it's a lie. If they ask you if you have kids, then I guess if you're comfortable, you can share that.
But the issue comes when you actually like the guy over time and you are not honest enough to be like, hey, I got kids. And then you like him and it was one of his deal breakers. Now, I get it. He should ask you, but if kids are part of you, so it's something you can communicate whether someone asks you or not. So I think if you're more honest from the beginning, some guys may look the other way and don't mind. But if they figure out let's say 3 months down the road, you guys are connecting and you didn't even tell him you got kids, some guys will see that as a deal breaker or even a red flag, because it's like, how can you not tell them you got kids? It's like you don't care about the kids, or you don't think this was going to be serious at some point.
But you don't have to make that your personality, because I do feel like a lot of men will look at you and say like, oh, she's a single mom, she has 2 kids, let me offer her less. And in my experience, just because I've had bad experiences, I won't let that tell me that I'm not worth what I feel that I deserve.
That's fair. So
I mean, you can think you deserve whatever you deserve. You can have whatever standards you have, but that doesn't mean men are supposed to give those things to you. You feel me? No one is entitled to anything. No man is entitled to accept you and your kids. No man is entitled to supposed to be a stepfather to your kids. So you can have all the preferences and the desires and the standards that you want. It doesn't mean you will get them.
It sounds like and you kind of have an idea and you don't kind of lean into it when you go out. So that's good.
Yeah. And I guess if I'm allowed to, can I ask, any encouragement that you have for young women who feel discouraged, because right now there's a lot of propaganda about, oh, you're a single mom and you have kids and this, that, and the other. How dare you have any standards? Once you feel that you've healed, why is it that you don't, the society, I should say, isn't accepting to a woman learning from her past and turning her back on bad decisions and wanting better for herself? Like, what's your advice for those women that deal with those type of men? Because there's a lot of it, especially with the Kevin Samuels thing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you shouldn't be bringing Kevin Samuels into this. You can have all the standards that you want. You can feel you've healed. You can feel you're a single mom. You deserve the same things you deserved before you became a single mom. You can ask for the six-figure guy. You can ask for a guy to accept you and your kids because, like you say, you come as a package. But at the end of the day, it's not a must for a man to accept you or your kids or provide whatever you think you deserve. The same way you don't, accept men who are bald, men who are short, men who don't make good money, and men shouldn't feel entitled for you to accept them for not having the money that you want or be providers. It's the same way you shouldn't feel entitled that men should do these things for you. So let's play fair. If you want to have the high standards, have them all you want. It doesn't mean you're going to get the kind of guy who accepts you. So at the end of the day, don't attack the men for not accepting you. Don't complain for men not accepting you. Be the best person that you can be. There could be a man out there who may accept you and your kids, but more likely than not, some guys won't, because they know what they have to take on when they deal with you. Now here you are trying to force your kids on a man. Accept me and my kids. I'm a package. I'm still a good woman. You may be still a good woman, but the man may not have the money to take care of you and your two kids. May be able to take care of you, but not the two extra kids. Some guys don't want to deal with baby daddy drama. That should be okay. The same way you don't accept every man. The same way you have a height requirement for a man and some guys don't meet your standards. The same way I'm sure you have a money requirement for men and some guys you feel they're too broke for you. Should they force you to like them? No.
But if you consume that content on a daily, then that will become your reality. I'm not saying a lot of the stuff that some men will say isn't true. I'm not going to say that. But if you consume it, then you're going to live in a bubble. You're going to stay home. You're going to believe I'm never going to find someone. No one's ever going to love me. I'm never going to find anyone. You're just going to lock yourself away.
I agree. I agree. I personally, I stopped subscribing to, and it wasn't, the For You page will kind of like throw little things out at you and see if you'll listen to it. So I'll listen to see what they're talking about. And then when I get the idea that it's like a mom bashing or, whatever it is, something that's not productive to your confidence, your self-esteem, I will get off of that. Like, I'll hit not interested quickly. Like, I'm not going to listen to it.
Right. My question too always is to the ladies and to the guys. What is your life like in real life? So when you're not on social media, are men approaching you? That's my question to you. Is the reality of your situation different from what they're saying online? That's how I like everyone to look at it. Forget what people say to you, call you this. They could say anything about you. But when you leave your house, what is the reality?
To answer your question, yes, men do, approach me. And I think when they hear my standards for myself, it's, I don't have a ridiculous expectation for people that's unrealistic for even myself. I give grace to everyone because I'm a human too. We all have, we're all humans. However, yes, they do. But I do think that once they learn that, especially this is more common with men without kids. And me personally, I'm not a fan of dating men without kids just because I just don't think that, number one, I don't want to have any more kids. Okay. So I know that about myself and I don't want to set a false expectation or leave room for someone to get into something that they think that they're going to get something that they're not.
Okay, so then if you don't want to deal with men who have no kids, and those are the men complaining that they can't handle you because you got kids, so what's the issue? I mean, why are you complaining? It's like you want to force men who don't have kids to want you with your kids. But you just said you don't want men who don't have kids because you're not willing to have kids for them. So what's the issue here? Just deal with men who have kids and maybe men who are willing to be stepfathers. But you cannot expect every man to be willing to be a stepfather. So I don't see the issue is. I think the issue is women have all these high preferences and standards for men, and men, they don't want men to say anything. They just want men to accept them for who they are. But once a man has standards, hey, I don't deal with single moms, I don't deal with a woman who's not in shape, who's loud. Women are like, oh, how dare you? You should accept me the way I am. But it's like, no, you don't accept short men. You don't accept broke men. You know, you don't like guys who do, blue collar jobs. You don't like plumbers, electricians. You only like engineers and rappers and athletes. Okay, it's fair. There are things you want, there are things men want. The man who wants you will want you. Those who don't want you, don't worry about them. But you cannot force every man to want you and your 2 kids. It is what it is. What do you guys think about that? Link down below to Ashley's channel. All right. Next up, we have Kendra G. This woman has 5 kids. She doesn't like bisexual men, and no man with kids under 10 years old. Let's go.
Andrea, where you calling me from?
It's Andrea, Indiana.
Oh, say it again.
Andrea.
Andrea.
Indiana.
Andrea, where you calling me from?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis? How old are you?
I'm 41.
41. What you do for a living, boo?
I'm a higher education administrator.
Higher education administrator. You have any kids?
I do. I have 5 children total, 4 living, 1 deceased.
Oh, sorry about your child that passed away.
Thank you.
You want to give the ages?
Absolutely. 17, twins 19, and 23.
Okay, all by the same man?
Oldest 3, 1 man, youngest twins, another.
Okay. And okay, have you ever been married?
Never been married, only engaged.
Okay. And 40, what's your zodiac sign?
Cancer.
Cancer. So we have, say again, Andrea?
Andrea,
Indianapolis, 41, Cancer, works in higher education administrator, mom of 5 kids by 2 men. Her 4 children, 1 has passed on. So we, again, give our condolences. What kind of man you looking for, girl?
I got my list, girl. Okay. I'm looking for a man that is honest, loyal, self-aware, confident, kind, affectionate, empathetic, and chivalrous.
Okay.
So she has a list, like they all do, but I want to hear the list of what she's going to give to a man. Let's go.
We got a list. Now, what are your deal breakers? You wrote that down too?
I did. Yes. Deal breakers, a bisexual man. That means if you have any attraction to men, I got enough problems dealing with women. I don't want to compete with men too. So bisexual men, no thank you. Men lacking dick discipline. If you cannot discipline your D, then you don't need to talk to me.
Wait, I've never heard like that before.
Well, I mean, because I think men have to reach a point in their life where they understand they can have sex with a lot of different people, but they don't. They shouldn't, especially if they're in committed relationships and things like that. So if you actually lack if you don't have the ability to not have sex with someone that is offering you sex, then I don't need you. No, that's okay. You for the streets. So yeah.
Okay.
Cocky, overzealous, especially if you're cocky or overzealous in regards to things like politics, religion, religious views, social views. Like if you're someone that's homophobic, openly homophobic, I typically think you're gay anyway, or bi anyway, or DL anyway. So don't be overzealous. Don't be cocky, extra. I'm 40 plus. So I'm looking for someone that's 40 plus and acts 40 plus.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's going. She still has as you can see, she has a long list. We haven't heard anything that she's going to give that kind of man. We haven't heard anything she's offering a man. She's only saying things she expects from a man. And, that's what Kendra asked. But I just wish Kendra can start asking these ladies, is that, okay, that's the kind of man you want. What does he get in return? Because at her age, with 4 kids, I don't think she's gonna give that the kind of man she's asking for any kids.
Other deal breaker non-citizens, kids under 10. And I do mean under 10. Like if you have a 9.5-year-old, no thank you. No thank you. 10 and over. That's the requirement. If you know me, if I look familiar, don't worry about doubling back. Don't worry about, hey, I want to see. Nope. If you work in any capacity, personally, professionally, no thank you. And if you want more kids, no thank you. I don't even want to adopt. I don't even know how I'm gonna handle grandkids. That's how much I'm not interested in anybody.
You said you don't want what?
I don't even know how I'm gonna handle grandkids. I mean, I expect my kids to probably procreate, but I don't know how I'm gonna handle that because not my kid. So yeah.
Is there any more on the list?
That's it, girl. That's it.
All right. Should he look a certain way?
Okay. I do have some preferences, but I pretty open when it comes to what I'm attracted to. I would prefer him to at least be my height. I'm 5'6.5", so I prefer for you to at least be 5'7" or taller. I do prefer African American men. However, I am willing and open to other races. Now, listen, if you are another race and you cannot speak English, I can't talk to you. So no, that doesn't.
So you can be another race, but you got to know English.
Exactly. Yes, I have a lot of Latino men that talk to me or try to talk to me that don't know very good English, and I don't speak Spanish.
Where are you at again? Oh, in Minneapolis. Okay.
I do prefer a man that's active. Now, if you have a belly and you aspire to get rid of it, like I do, because I'm actively working.
Yeah, I was about to say you don't look active. I can see the cheeks right here and the neck. So for you to want a man who's active, I mean, unless you just started, like you're saying, but you may have to, if you're doing 3 days in the gym, you may have to do a little bit more, like maybe 6 days.
On myself, then I'm with you. But if you like fried foods, eat fried foods every day, I'm not signing up to take care of you in the next 20 years. So no, thank you. You have to be active. You have to take care of yourself. Other than that, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Now, should he make a certain amount of money?
Here we go.
60K and up, I would say. If you make
Okay,
50K, you can still slide. If you make less than 50K, no, thank you.
Why? Tell me why. You are 40 with 4 kids. What's wrong with a man who makes 50K? Okay, let's say he makes 48,000. What's wrong? Are you looking for a retirement plan? Or are you looking for him to pay for your kids as well? Why? What's wrong with that? Honestly, tell me why she's not going to die single. I mean, she's made it until now with 2 baby daddies single. Why is she not going to die single again? Because she has a list with 1,000 things. But I've not heard one thing she's going to do for a man.
So I do require this to be legal income. That means the government knows where your money comes from. Because I don't have time. So yeah.
Yeah. Andrea, am I saying it right?
Andrea.
Time for the Kendra Cam.
Come on, Kendra. Kendra needs to start asking these women what on the list of things after you tell us the list of things you want from a man. They should have a list of things that they're gonna give that man in return. Because that's what a relationship is. A relationship is not take. It's a give and take. Give and take. That's what it's called, a relationship. Otherwise, it's just slavery if it's just one way.
Okay, hold on. I said I was gonna practice this. Okay, so I'm gonna move my camera over here so you can get a full body. I'm trying now not to show y'all all my clothes in my closet.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything.
We see. Okay. You got some paid questions. Do you want them?
Let's go.
I mean, yeah, I'm down.
Okay. Because you already know, child.
Listen, I know the cousins. Listen, I'm a cousin too.
Okay. Q said, man, what are you willing to compromise on? Long list of requirements and very little leverage.
Facts. That's what I was saying. they have lists this long, and it's all about me. But if any woman, actually, there's been a couple of women, and I've reacted to them on my show, on my channel. Some women come in and be like, "Hey, the money's the prize." Shout out to the lady who said that she knows herself. She commented down below on my channel not too long ago. They come in and say, "Hey, I'll do this for a man. I'll do ABCD for a man." But these women who come in with lists for things they want from a man, it would be so much easier. They would get so many men if they simply said, "I want ABCD from a man, but I'm willing to do ABCD for him as well."
What, is that a girl that said that? Because if you're not interested, why are you worrying about my requirements?
See, and once they're defensive, that means the man gets nothing in return.
I mean, I thought this was options that I had. I didn't know I had to settle. If I had to settle, I'd already be married.
So you're gonna die single.
I mean, you know, I didn't even go all the way into it. This is just like to start the conversation. Are you happy? Are you okay?
She's dying
I'm
single.
sorry.
Okay. David Dennis said, lady, you have young women standards. You gave all men anxiety just by listening to you.
Facts. The older women, I told you guys, the older women have the same standards as young women, and they're competing for the same kind of men. Because younger women, she's 41, I think. Younger women, 25 to actually all the way from 20 to all the way to 35, they have the same standards that she has. The only difference could be they're willing to give kids and, you know, and maybe the money aspect. But she said 60K is the lowest. But trust me, she would prefer a guy who makes 6 figures also. So they're competing for the same small percentage of men. So the older women are not, they're like, I'm going to fight you for my man as well. Yet the older women should be giving game and advice to the younger women to avoid the same things that have made them single in their older ages. They should be like, hey, listen here, young woman. The reason I'm a single mom and single is because I made these mistakes. I had a long list. Maybe you should reduce your list. But it's like they have the same list. They have the same delusional standards.
Girl, the census told me there was a lot of men born the same year I was born. There was a lot of men born before me, a lot of men born after me. And that might be a man. That being said, again, I say, if you're not interested in me, and if I'm too old for you, why you worry about my standards? Boy, these people paying they good money. Y'all, my Cash App is open since y'all spending money on comments.
Cash, shout it out, girl.
Who's gonna sing a Cash App?
No, I'm just playing. It ain't that deep. I just think it's interesting. People spend money for these questions.
Divine Photo says, you seem to have an attitude on you, yep. Smile, sister. One thing, so a man is supposed to have discipline, but you have 5 kids and didn't require marriage.
Yeah, she didn't have discipline to have kids with one man or require marriage before having kids, but she's talking about how a man should have this discipline. The double standards are crazy. That is a good question. And I can guarantee you, because I haven't watched the whole show, I can guarantee you she's not going to answer with you know, being, she's going to be very disingenuous in answering this question. She's going to attack the person who asked the question. Watch.
Yeah, so I don't have an attitude. I think if anything, I'm a little bit lighter in life.
No,
I will say this. I had all my kids before the age of 24.
It doesn't matter.
Now, my youngest daughter passed away. So I'm actually like the least bit of an attitude person. I'm just super realistic. I'm really direct, but not an attitude. No, I just don't understand why people pay money to ask me questions about my standards when they don't have.
See, very defensive. That should be like the biggest red flag. You know, the only thing I like about her is I like her accent. I think it sounds kind of southern accent. I could be wrong. You guys comment down below if I'm wrong, but I like her accent. That's like the only thing I like about her.
I have no intentions of getting to know me.
Okay. Now, the next question, and I'll wait before I read this one. Okay. When was your last relationship?
About 2.5 years ago.
Okay. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask, when's the last time you was intimate with someone?
I'm going to choose not to answer.
Okay. 3 flaws you have to work on.
I am a bit of a perfectionist, which can lead to a bit of procrastination. I am a bit docile and submissive quickly.
That's not true. There's nothing submissive about this woman. I just see attitude, my way or the highway. She's gonna be talking your head off, telling you what to do, stuck in her ways. There's nothing submissive about you, mama. I'm just being honest.
I tend to believe people, so I move quickly into the nesting stage. I'm a little bit older, so I like to cook. I like to cater to a man. So I typically move into that docile or submissive role pretty quickly after dating. And that's proved to not work well with me in the dating world. And I am a financial spender. My kids, you know, I grew up very frugal family. I'm frugal with my kids, but now my kids are grown and I got a little bit more income. So I get an attitude. Sometimes I buy stuff.
Okay. Well, I think you actually answered it. They said, Ignacio said, long list about men, watch her 3 flaws. She gonna struggle. No, she actually
super aware. That's just 3. I got more.
No, she was ready for that. Yeah. True Seeker said she wants Morris Chestnut in the holiday looking like that. Come on, lady.
And you paid $4.99 for that. How much did you pay for your last nip tuck? Listen, I never
see. I get it that the guys who are making comments, they're coming kind of towards her from everything she said, but a good, soft, kind, humble woman wouldn't be going back and forth with the people commenting. She would literally just address what they are talking about or saying, I'm not that kind of person or ABCD. But she instead gets defensive and attacks the people who sent in the comments. So which tells me that's a red flag. That means you're going to be in a relationship. You say something she doesn't like and she's going to attack you. She will forget everything you said. Hey, listen, I don't like the way you talked to me yesterday. And she's going to be like, but you did the same thing last time. And it's going to be back and forth arguments with her in a relationship. At least that's what I'm seeing.
Said he had to be sitting. Morris Chestnut is very tall, very chocolate, very attractive. I said he can even be working on his belly. Y'all crazy. I did not ask for that much. I didn't say 6. I didn't even ask for the 3 6s. I take a 5.5, a 4, and a 3. I am very reasonable. I own my home. My kids are grown. I'm moving to a new stage of life. I know that's all that other stuff is cool, but yes, I'm older. I'm looking for someone that's also older and looking to move into that stage of life because I'm young in other ways.
Oh, she said she's. What is the age range you would date? You're 41.
I would go 40 to 55. Now, listen, the 36 to 38 is a little tricky. So if you are in that range, just like be all the way there.
40 to 55. Okay. And did I ask you the question? Why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's the last question. Why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
I'm a lot of fun.
What fun?
I know how to do stuff on a budget. So we can have a good time. I like to travel. Like I said, I'm docile and submissive.
Traveling and on a budget I don't think they go together.
It's pretty quickly. So that, I think that should give a man an indication of kind of what that means. Yeah. I'm fun.
So I'm fun is enough for a man to come and be a stepfather to you and your attitude because I'm fun. Shout out to her. I like her accent. So some of you guys in the comments, this could be your chance if you're looking for, this type of woman. Shout out to you. But shout out to Kendra. But I just hope Kendra can start asking these ladies, what do you bring to a man's life? I get it. It's kind of the question of why would a man be lucky? But why would a man be lucky to be with you is almost still making her the prize or the trophy or she's doing a man a favor. It should be, what do you bring to the table? What are you going to do for a man? That will be a better question. So I'll put the link down below because I had enough. All right, next. Shout out to Rich Cooper. Let's get into it. Why dating is worse. To me, the question should be why dating is dead.
The worst when it comes to relationships, dating, that sort of stuff.
The worst.
The worst?
Replay. Hold on.
Who said that? Have times changed for the better or for the worst when it comes to relationships, dating, that sort of stuff?
The worst.
The worst?
Worst.
Who said that?
Monique.
Phyllis and Monique. Why have they changed for the worse?
Well, first of all, the internet destroyed everything. The entertainment industry.
How?
The entertainment industry, the modeling industry, art. I mean, do we love it? Do we need it? Do we thrive on it? Does it help us? Yes. But as far as like fundamentals go and like, you know, just take online dating, for example, you know, everything is so much more accessible.
Such as?
And people, you know, you open your phone and there's, you know, you swipe, you just find, you know, and just because everything is so accessible because of the internet, I feel like there's less of a reason for people to commit. And I lived in Los Angeles for 11 years, so I've experienced this firsthand. You know, if you're in a relationship or if there's somebody that you really like, there's not really a really strong inclination to connect and to be vulnerable or to commit because there's so many other people at your fingertips just right around the corner and on your phone, you know.
So you think there's too many options?
It's not that there are too many options. I think that people are just too choosy. You know, it's
when you say people, is it gender specific though? Is it men or is it women or is it both men and women or
I'm gonna tell you something right now. When it comes, I don't care what you're talking about. Women are just as bad as men, and men are just as bad as women. It doesn't matter. I'm not being gender specific.
That's not true because women have more dating options, especially online or when it comes to swiping on dating apps or when it comes to Instagram. Women have more men in their inbox than men have their inbox. In fact, women are swiping left on most men. They have so many options. They will have so many likes, and they get to pick and choose which man they can say yes to or no to. Most guys never have that, unless you're like a Drake or Chris Brown. Then you may have women chasing you. But most guys struggle, whether in person, whether on dating apps, whether on Instagram, on social media. So she's lying. So most women shouldn't have an issue because they have so many guys to pick from. But the issue is they always think the grass is greener with the other guy. So they'll go with this guy, then tomorrow they'll go with the other guy. When the other guy offers a dinner date and this guy offers a coffee, they'll choose the guy who offers the dinner date, even if he's not better than the guy who offered a coffee date. So definitely women have more options on social media and dating apps.
It's just human nature. Human nature
choosy?
And being choosy, instant gratification, because everything that you could accuse a man of doing in a relationship these days, women are doing. You know what I mean? The tradition is kind of out the window, so to say, I feel like.
If it's people are too choosy, do you think people's standards have gone up then? How has it gotten worse? If it's just you're too choosy, wouldn't being too choosy have been an issue before the internet and social media?
Okay, what's a good example? For example, and I've seen this in your shows and I've seen it in multiple videos. What is it, like the six figure, what is it called again? Like the guy's got a like 6 figures, 6 something.
Oh,
what
that's
is it?
Like 6 sixes?
That's actually a female trope, you know.
Yeah. Well,
that's
I'm going to use
for
it
women, you know, the 6 sixes, right? 6
I'm
foot
gonna use
tall,
that
6
as an
figure income,
example.
600 horsepower car, 6-pack abs, 6 months out of the relationship. Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about that for a second. Women came up with that. The average woman that uses that rule doesn't own her own car, lives in a studio apartment, and can't even boil an egg. So yes, it's standards that are way too high, not within your realistic range, because you think you have access, you get a little bit of attention, you have access to all these other people. People have a displaced concept of reality. So, I mean, I could go deep into this if you want, or I can just tell you that, yes, things are different and people are more choosy, but they're not necessarily being choosy for the right reasons.
Okay, let's come back to that. So I want to hear from the other gals too. So, times have changed, but have they changed for the better or for the worse in your opinions?
Yeah, well, I'll piggyback off of what she was saying. I think she was saying that men are, or not men, but people are being more choosy in a way. Is the fact that they have this idea in the back of their head that like at any time there is a roster that they could have, you know what I mean? The people that are continuing to flirt with them or whatever, reaching out, liking their stuff, it feels as if there are unlimited options. So then when we enter a relationship and they end up becoming the mirror that they're meant to be, because that's literally the point of all of these relationships, is to see what we are not conscious of seeing within ourselves so that we can grow and become better and learn whatever lesson that we came here to learn. I think people are becoming more choosy because once that's reflected back to them, oh, nasty, I've got really bad toxic patterns that I don't really want to look at. I'm just going to leave you and find somebody else that's not going to do that.
Yeah, but that's most women leaving relationships. Because if you ask this lady, how many boyfriends have you had? And out of those boyfriends, how many of them have broken up with you? And how many have you broken up with? The answer would be I've broken up with either all of them or maybe just one broke up with me and I broke up with the rest. So obviously it's women who have the rosters because women get approached. Now, if men were approached by women, which it happens, but you gotta be like really rich and famous like the Chris Browns of this world. Other than that, women have the most options, whether it's social media. Because one time I had a female friend, she showed me her dating app and she had 500 messages from men. So in my head, I was like, how do you get to choose from the 500 messages who to go on a date with? Because if you have 500 guys all wanting to see you and take you on a date, who are you going to choose? Like, that's crazy.
So I can be comfortable in my own crap. And that's why we have all of these people that get into these relationships and then get out and they're hopping into another one. And the dating scene is just horrific because there's all these unhealed people running around, getting into relationships when they should never get into relationships. They should focus on the one that they were in, learn the lesson that they were supposed to learn from that relationship, and then maybe find that other person. Or maybe they just stay with that person that helps them grow. That's exactly what happened in my relationship. We were off and on for the duration of our 2 years, and we were extremely toxic to each other, but we sat down, looked at our own crap and said, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't like hurting people. I don't like being bad. So I'm going to do better. And it's bonded us so deeply and so beautifully that like, I just see forever with this person because of that, because we went through those trying times and we overcame it together.
Okay. And what about you, Elena? The Gypsy Queen.
Hey. I feel like we're viewing this more from the perspective of dating and marriage for love rather than the institution that it is initially intended for. And I think we're better off now, especially as women, because we have access to more choices. But
I mean, you have more access to more choices, but you still don't make good choices in men. So it looks like it doesn't matter.
I disagree with the fast food culture around dating.
Fast food culture. It's all McDonald's.
Yeah, like you're saying, it prevents people from actually doing the work or having any sort of like growth or self-development, introspective. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so let me phrase a question to you this way. I can produce a magic wand and wave it and solve these issues that exist within dating right now. What is the issue that you would want to see fixed? This is the question I want to ask all of you. So what is the main issue that you think should be fixed?
Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability and radical acceptance of just who you are and how you're acting. You know what I mean? And like taking a hard look at yourself and not stop pointing the finger, stop being a victim. We're all.
I mean, I agree with this lady. Yeah, accountability is key for both men and women, but more so women, because it's always the man's fault that the relationship ended, right?
Everybody just wants
Stop being a victim.
perpetual victim and blame everybody else for all of their problems. Oh my gosh, I just keep attracting these horrible men and not realizing that part of you that's attracting these horrible men. You know what I mean? Things that the boundaries that you're not setting, you know, the appeasing people and, you know, basically being self-sacrificial for people that don't even deserve it. Like, and it's just like you keep repeating the same pattern until you learn the lesson that you're meant to learn. You know,
Can you give me a specific example? Like, what do you mean accountability? Because I'm assuming that when you're answering the question, you're sort of looking at guys and past patterns and past behaviors of men. What is it specifically that you can use as an example when it comes to like accountability?
So accountability would be like, if I am coming to you and saying like, hey, this action hurt me, instead of you deflecting and saying, well, you did this and that's why I did this. No, take accountability for your part in the situation. You know what I mean? Take accountability and just take the hard look at yourself. Take a step.
Yeah, and I think that's why most guys, women complain so much about how men are usually silent or they don't open up in relationships or they hide their feelings within. They never speak about what's bothering them. But that's because most guys, once they speak up and they're like, hey baby, you said ABCD, you did ABCD, I didn't like it. Most women are like, but you also did ABCD. Oh, I did that because you did this to me. So most guys are like, okay, I mean, it's a waste of time opening up to you because when I do, you bring up something I did a long time ago. Yet most men just want to be like, hey, at least accept that you did wrong. We can always talk about whatever I did rather than making it seem like it was revenge on your part. So most guys are like, you know what? Instead of talking about this, I don't want arguments. I don't want to, you know, you know, bring up an issue, and then the woman is like, "But it's your fault." It's like you hurt me, and you're saying it's my fault, rather than saying, "Baby, I'm sorry." So most guys are like, "I'm not gonna open up," and then women complain, men don't open up, they're not vulnerable. But it's like when I'm vulnerable, you say it's my fault, and that's the issue with dating these days. There's a big disconnect between men and women. But shout out to Rich Cooper. At least the women are giving their mindsets and their perspectives, and Miranda was definitely right. This one seems out of touch, and this one as well. But what do you guys think? I'll link down the Rich Cooper channel below. All right, so next, we have this man who wants men to become single dads for some reason. But let's go.
7 years ago, I was single with no kids. And now I'm waking up super early to go on a surprise Starbucks runs for my wife and all her kids. Thank you very much. Thank you. 7 years ago, my coffee used to only cost like $3, and now it costs about $45. $45 on a good day. But 7 years ago, I was single with no kids, and I had no major responsibilities. I was only responsible for myself. Now I'm married with 4 stepkids, and my wife and I had 1 kid together. So I'm going to be very vulnerable with you right now, and I'm going to speak to all the step parents, stepmoms, stepdads, and anybody who's just considering being with somebody who have kids and baby dads. You have to be mature. You have to think logically and understand that you have to take other people's perspective and put it into consideration.
Do you know what this sounds to me? This sounds like a man who realized he made a bad choice, a wrong choice of becoming a stepdad. Now, because misery loves company, he's on social media trying to find a group of other men who are in the same situation to feel better about himself. Because if other men who are in the same situation he is in, validate what he's saying, he'll feel like he made the right choice. Because the money he's spending on kids that don't belong to him, that's money he could have been saving to spend on his own kids. Because those kids have their own dads or dad. So those dads should be taking off those kids, taking off their own kids, and save your money for your own kids. Because the money you spend on kids that don't belong to you, it takes away from your own kids. But he's here trying to recruit more guys to be stepfathers. You know, unless he has a list of 10 things that the man benefits from being a stepdad and taking care of kids that belong to him, he's just looking for other men to, you know, to recruit to be in misery like him.
If she's co-parenting, you gotta let her co-parent. If she needs to talk to her baby daddy in regards to a decision that needs to be made about their kid, you sit back and shut up. Do not expect to be a part of a step family and think that you can run that family however it is you want. You have.
But that's the thing, and that's why guys don't want to be stepdads, because they have all the responsibility without authority. So you're telling me I'm paying school fees for these kids, buying food for them, putting a roof over their head, while the real dad isn't doing nothing, and then I can't have a say in how they live their lives? So I'm just here to provide and protect, but I can't have a choice or a decision, or I can't say anything in how they live their lives? Like, how does that benefit any man? Why not do all those things for my own kids? Why do those things for kids that don't belong to me? And that's where most guys are saying is, listen, I could be a stepdad if you give me 10 reasons that benefit me. But you're telling me to do all these things, provide and protect, and I should just shut up and deal with the baby daddy drama? Because then they also have to watch out for the fact that the baby daddy may not like the fact that the guy is interacting with their kids. Some kids don't even respect stepdads. They're going to be like, you can't tell me what to do, you're not my dad. And then you have to argue with them and all this. It's like, why should you put yourself through that as a man?
You have to understand that you're entering a family where one of the parents has had to take care of the kids all by themselves, and for you to go in there and tell them what to do, you're mistaken. My 4', 11-inch wife who had 4 children was afraid to let men around her kids. Her oldest child at the time when I started dating her was 10 years old. So for 10 years, she's been taking care of kids. No man to tell her what to do, what to say, how to do things. It was all her. I couldn't enter that woman's life and say, I need you to discipline your kids this way. While I'm working, you need to clean the house and have dinner ready for me when I get home. I don't want you talking to the other kid's parent. Now I'm going to tell you the secret and a mentality that you need to have when you're entering a step family.
No. Before you tell people the secrets of being a stepdad, at least you being the stepdad, give us the reasons, the advantages, the benefits. Because it's a relationship. If we're going to be honest, in a relationship, you give and you take. So give us the benefits of taking care of someone else's kids, especially when that person is alive. We're not speaking on situations where those kids lost their dad. We're talking about a situation where the dad is alive, healthy, and breathing. Give us advantages. Before you tell men to be stepfathers, give them advantages of benefits, why they should do it, why they shouldn't choose a woman with no kids, why they should use the money to take care of another man's kids. That's the money, yet that's the money they could save for their own kids, college tuition. He's looking to recruit more guys to be stepfathers, to be in the same situation he's in, because clearly he's not happy. He only made this video because there have been so many videos of telling men not to be stepfathers. But because he put himself in a situation where he has to take care of someone else's kids, he's trying to fight back and show that it's all going nice and well, and it's not.
You 100% have to be humble all the time.
No.
What do I mean by that? Take your pride and throw it away. All you have to do is love that person and contribute on top of what they already have.
Wow.
For any man out there saying, I can't do that, that's not masculine, bro, you better leave that woman alone and stay the hell away.
I mean, that's fair. At least I agree with the last part. Because he told men what they should do, but he didn't tell them why they should do it and what benefits. Like, give me 10 benefits a man gets from taking care of kids that don't belong to him. And I'll give you one reason why they shouldn't. Because the money they're spending on those kids could be used to take care of their own kids. Because for every dollar he spends on kids that don't belong to him, that's a dollar he's taking away from his own kid. Because now he's going to tell his own kid that, hey, listen, daddy can't buy you ABCD because daddy has to provide for other kids. So you're telling a man to provide and protect kids that don't belong to him, but then the man, the real dad, their biological dad, can come into the house and make rules, yet he doesn't contribute? Like, what kind of deal is that? Like, which man is going to go for that deal? Now, seriously, which man is going to take that deal? So shout out to you guys who are stepdads. I mean, I don't know why you did it. That's on you, but please don't try to recruit more guys to make the decisions that you made. Unless you're willing to give guys a list of benefits they get from being stepdads. I mean, it is what it is, but please, please don't try to, I don't know, to attack, to shame men into becoming stepfathers. And it goes both ways. Women shouldn't also be shamed into become stepmothers, but we don't usually see that. And women are not even required to provide for kids that don't belong to them. Still, the single dad still has to provide for his own kids at the end of the day. But what do you guys think about that? All right, till next time, peace.